Goalkeeper Darren Gleeson, who made a brief championship debut against Cork 8 years ago. Among those fronting him today are Cathal Barrett, who had a difficult league final, and the recalled John O'Keefe, today replacing the injured Mickey Cahill. A more assertive performance is now expected by the tip-half backline, where the Marr brothers, Ronan and Porrick, have played such leading roles in recent times. Tip will be starting with their All-Ireland midfield pairing intact, Brendan Marr and Michael Breen. At half forward, there's another chance for Mullinahone's Sean Curran, who played against Cork this time last year and now replaces Patrick Bonnermar, one of Tipperary's subs. And the inside line, as ever, has massive scoring potential, led by the man you've been talking about there, Seamus Callanan, who's happily recovered from a broken thumb, which forced him to miss the league final. As with Tip, Cork go with an experienced goalkeeper in Anthony Nash, his 25th championship match. The first of 6 changes from last year sees Stephen MacDonald return as captain, with debutant Colm Spillane in the other corner. The Cork half backline features Christopher Joyce and Mark Ellis, along with newcomer Mark Coleman from Blarney, who's just 19 years of age. Named at centre field today is Bill Cooper, with Dara Fitzgibbon from Charleville, who's another one of the newcomers this afternoon. On paper, the half-forwards look impressive, with the number 12 Shane Kingston, son of manager Kieran, starting his first championship match after 2 cameo appearances last summer. And in the full-forward line, Alan Cadigan and Patrick Horgan could cause considerable trouble for that Tip defence, with newcomer Luke Meade asked perhaps to play a much deeper role. Well, those are the teams this afternoon. Time now to hear from the respective managers. Kieran Kingston here of Cork and Michael Ryan of champions Tipperary.
Michael, your championship about to begin, but how have the last few weeks been? How have you and the players digested that league final defeat?
Well, look, we had to put it behind us, Claire. You know, it was live for that 73 or 4 minutes, and you know, for us, we obviously regret that kind of performance totally. But we look ahead straight away. It's the only thing to do in life and in sport. So that's exactly what we set about doing, and we've had a very good 4 weeks.
I suppose it burst your bubble a bit. So, what kind of reaction are you expecting from the players today?
Well, look, I think the players will be 100% today. You know, and this is championship. We've been, the minute this fixture was made last November, this was the only thing that was on our minds, and we're just looking forward to a really good game here today. This is Tip and Cork in Thurles. This will be a classic, I'd expect.
Kieran, you've gone with youth, so how will they stand up to the All-Ireland champions?
Only time will tell, Claire, as you well know. We picked. We haven't gone with you. We've gone with what we feel are the form players at the moment, and whether they're young or old, that's the way we've gone. And only time will tell how they'll go today.
What are you expecting from them today?
I mean, what we focus on all year, and we've said all year, it's not a cliche. We're a developing team. We're a team in trying to make progress, and we're sticking to our own process and our own performance. And today we're asking for a performance for 70 minutes. That's really our key objective, is to get a really, really good performance from our team, that we never give up.
How have Cork progressed from the disappointments of last year's championship?
I suppose the record speaks for itself. I mean, at the start of the year, we would have taken where we finished in the league, albeit not the quarter final, but we were most people's favourites for relegation. So I suppose from the league we made some progress. It's a very, very difficult league. I said this many times. In one sense, you're trying to retain your status in Division 1A, and the other side you're trying to blood new players and change things around a little bit. And we achieved that balance fairly well, and we were happy where we finished second in the league. Yes, certainly we would have taken that at the start.
The views of the managers there, of course, Henry Shufflin. There are plenty of Cork flags and jerseys in Semple Stadium today. They have come to support their team, of course. They've come on hope. Is it a realistic hope, do you think?
Well, I would hope so. And I tell you, Tony Fenton was talking there, and Tony was asked by Claire, about should they come in hope. But his answer straight away was no, they should come to believe that they're going to win. And I think that's what's been lacking in the Cork players in the last number of years. We've spoke about leaders. We've a lot of youth on their team today, but it comes down to the leaders. And you haven't seen that desire, that passion, that I don't care, we expect to win out of the Cork players the last few years. I think there's massive work being done underage. This is a big game for them. Last year was a very bad performance, and the season just petered out after. So I think they need to take some momentum. I think Kieran Kingston is doing a good job, but I think the leaders really need to step up and help the younger players. And I think if they do that, they have a chance. Now, the only problem is for Cork is that Tip had a very bad day out the last day, so you would expect them to bounce back today, especially at home here in Thurles.
We saw the two lads, as Henry said there in the chat with Claire, and we remember those days, Ger, of course, 30 years ago, John Fenton and Pat Fox involved in all of that. And what everybody, of course, would love to see is something like that again this year.
No, sure, that's what we're all looking for. You know, contests like that, especially, you know, at the end of the 80s, early 90s, the contests they had were absolutely superb altogether. And, you know, Bab has added so much to that as well, you know, and of course, Canon O'Brien on the other side. So you had the whole package that time, and you had these draws and, you know, epic finishes to games. That's what we want to see in Munster Championship. Now, I suppose if we're looking for the flaw in Tipperary, everybody points to the league final and a comparison with what happened to Kilkenny against Galway in 2012. Now, the problem there was, you know, after 30 minutes of that game, Galway was 16 points ahead of you, but you didn't throw yourselves down.
Yeah.
You know, with 8 minutes to go, there was only 8 points in it. There was only 6 points in the league final at half-time. They had plenty of time to regroup and come out again, but they totally collapsed. Now, when you add that to their 8-point lead in their only big game against Kilkenny after 20 minutes in the league, and they struggled to draw the game afterwards. So maybe there is a flaw there. Maybe the hunger has been sated, you know. You know, we don't know.
Yeah.
Now, I saw them coming out onto the field there, and not alone were the players come out, but the selectors came out. They were nearly jumping into the air as well. But the one display that Cork gave in the league this year was below in Waterford, against Waterford, where they were aggressive, they looked physically powerful, they used all the attributes they had as well as their skill, and they only gave away 113. So maybe if we're looking for crumbs of comfort, that gives us something, that they might produce something like that today.
But sure, I suppose, like Michael Ryan, the Tip manager, is a very intelligent man, sir. He knows exactly where he wants this team to be at the end of May in 2017.
Well, he made no bones about after winning the All-Ireland. Straight away, he wanted to win another one, putting his head on the block. He wanted to win the league as well. He made no bones about that. OK, they took the defeat well. But I think the interesting thing today is, OK, it'll be interesting to see how Tip come back after that defeat. They had 4 weeks. If you notice there in his clip, he said they had a very good 4 weeks, which means they ironed out the problems. Maybe it was that Wexford game was very physical. Maybe it took a lot out of the bodies of retirement. To me, the interesting today, the left side of Cork, you have 5 new players. Spillane cornerback, Coleman wing back, Fitzgibbon centre field, Kingston wing forward, and Mead corner forward. Now, that's a completely new line. Now, I expect Mead to be swinging around. No, these lads from colleges, very good hurlers, young, energetic, and probably, as Henry often said, no baggage. They've heard about the Tip Cork rivalry, but they hadn't had it in the last few years. So they'll come in with no baggage. It'll be interesting to see how they get on. If they can go at Tip early on, put a bit of doubt in their mind, that's the big thing, to take it to Tip early on. But if they let Tip get into a kind of a role and throw around this, they're very good on the ball, good laying it off. If that happens, you'd imagine Tip push on. But I'm expecting a big fight from Cork. But at the end of the day, you'd think that Tip at home would have enough to get through.
And not only enough to get through, Henry, they have the firepower up front. There's no question about that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, last year they were very impressive, their forwards, but in the league final they did showcase some deficiencies, and it was the work rate out of them. The Galway defenders were walking out of the ball, and I know, look, it's a simple free here, and that's basically been lazy. I don't really want to work, so I'll foul them. And I said, here ball goes in again, and you know, Tip are very skillful, but when they don't win it, and Galway were just acres of space working it, and there was no pressure whatsoever. They were kind of going through the motions, and that was the fear. That's why Tipperary didn't win, and more success they had, and Galway were able to work it. Now, the week before that, they worked very hard, and they had in the league up to that. Here we see 4 Tip lads winning back the ball, turning it over against Wexford, and look, the finish is just unbelievable. That's what the Tip forwards can do, and this is Tip of their song. Look at John McGrath here, John O'Dwyer here, looks up, looking for the killer instinct ball. Look at the way he passes this and puts it on top of the Wexford head, and Noel McGrath is travelling onto the ball. The defender has no chance, takes it and finishes. That's what Tip can do, because me and Gerard were looking at them outside. Their wrist work, their level of skill is unbelievable. But if they don't get the work rate right, they will struggle. And that's what happened in the league final.
Sure.
And that softness was there before. We saw it again a little bit in the league final. Now, whether they were tired or not, we'll see today. But Tip's forwards definitely have the firepower to score.
In actual fact, Cork have good firepower as well. I was saying this to you earlier on today, Ger. If you look down through the Cork team, they have the talent up front, but you're not quite sure about their defence.
Well, listen, everybody knows, you know, their defending has been so... It's a 4-year malaise, this defending they've been on, starting in 2013 in the All-Ireland, leaving this highway down the centre of their defence. And, you know, the pictures speak for themselves, you know, that, you know, nobody taking responsibility, no one coming to the man coming through, playing as individuals rather than a team. So what all these pictures show you, you've all seen these goals before. A lack of work rate, which starts with your forwards covering back and your midfielders covering back. A lack of leadership, nobody calling out the route to say who's going to tackle and who's going to take on the man. All coming, I think, Michael, from a lack of belief. There's a real lack of belief so far within this team, and it's understandable. You see the big spaces there in front. They can't allow that today. Defending is something that can be coached. Look at the last great Cork team and the way they could defend. Cork once gave away 9 points in an All-Ireland final to Kilkenny, a forward line that included Henry here, DJ Carey, Martin Comerford, Eddie Brennan, Chaffitz, some of the all-time greats. So, defending can be coached. So hopefully that's something they have addressed over the winter.
Well, Cyril, the teams are in the parade down here below us. It's always a great occasion here at Semple Stadium. I don't overstate that, but it really is. We all look forward to going to Munster Championship matches. And this one is about to begin.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, you're even coming in today, Michael, in early, and the pitch is it's in pristine condition.
Oh, it's beautiful.
There's a lovely smell of cut grass, and that kind of a smell you get, and you'd love to be playing yourself if you're good enough to play. And it's the place to play. Now, Cork like it here. I expect Cork to go at Tip and try to get the scores early on and go the kind of forwards up front. They're going to be moving around. I expect to play with 5 up front, maybe 3 in midfield, and as Gerard says, try to hold the back tight as they can. The Tip forwards, they know they have to work harder than they did the last day. Half back line the last day, never got on top. They're more settled looking today. So in the end of the day, you'd expect Tip to push through and win the game.
I don't know about G3 lads. I wouldn't fancy being down in the middle of that.
It'd be nice to be there.
Have we Tip to win, yeah?
Tip to win, yeah. Only chance Cork have, they need to score goals. They haven't been able to score goals because they've been too much fancy hurling outside. They have to get inside. 2010 was the last time they bet them. They got 3 goals. Saki O'Halpine, edge of the square, pumped it in long, back to old style hurling. We didn't see that last year from Cork. To whatever chance they have this year, that's it. But I think the hunger is a massive thing in sport, and I think Tip will be hurting after the league final, so I expect them to win.
You're the Munster manager.
Yeah, well, the lads have summed it up really well. The only thing I'd add to that is they've got to make sure that they're in the game at half-time. Yeah. The last 3 big defeats they have, the game was over at half-time, last year especially. First half year, I hope they have the wind, which is strong enough, blowing down towards the Canine in here. I hope they have the wind, and that they hold that defence for the first 35 minutes. Let the second half take care of itself. We all expect them to run at the Tipperary defence, but to do that, you must drag them out, you must still keep it open. If Luke Meade goes out there, it's no use going out and crowding it. Letting out Cathal Barrett out in the middle of the field. Suicidal. So it's how they use that man further out there and how they create the space. If you see them opening it up from the start of this game, then you'll know that Cork have a great chance.
All right,
but of course we have to fancy it.
Of course, yeah. All right, there's a Munster hurling semi-final against Waterford at stake for today's winners, who are going to progress in the province. In the commentary box, we have Ger Canning and Michael Duignan.
Thank you very much indeed, Michael. Yes, we are really looking forward to it because irrespective of what's gone before, any meeting of Munster's traditional big rivals remains a major hurling attraction. Cork are very much the outsiders. Derek McGrath is here, the Waterford manager with his family there, and of course looking forward to meeting the winner here in the semi-final. In front of him there with the grey peaked cap, Brian Cody, the Kilkenny manager. Lots of managers, lots of interesting personalities are here because it is the big match. When the draw was made before Christmas, this was the standout confirmed fixture in the opening round of matches. And Michael Duignan is alongside me here. Tip's lack of performance at the league final against Galway will have baffled their own followers, but they've had 4 weeks, Michael, to iron out the wrinkles.
Yeah, I think it baffled us all. We didn't see it coming, and I think that's what gives the rest of the country a bit of hope today, but they have the 4 weeks to iron it out. They're missing a couple of players today. Bonner Maher, a huge loss, and I think we're just pausing now for the national anthem and a minute silence. And Gerard, just to finish, if Cork want to win this game today, they're going to have to match Tipperary physically. They rolled over last year here, and they need goals. They're going to need a couple of goals today if they're going to win. But the first 10-15 minutes to tell us a lot about Cork's attitude if they're up for this game.
James Owens from Wexford is the match referee. It's Cork who won the toss. They're playing from right to left in the first half. Light breeze behind them, although the breeze predominantly is blowing across the field. And straight away it is Sean Curran who gets that ball forward for Tipperary. Back in the side again in the championship team this afternoon. First touch here from Mark Coleman from Blarney in as far as Luke Meade. He'll be expected to play quite deep. Ball forward there by Darragh Fitzgibbon from Charleville. Ball still very much in play down there in the corner. Finally goes out over the near sideline, and a line ball is going to be to Cork. There's a crowd here of about, I would say, 30,000 thereabouts, Michael.
Right, John, just straight away, Sean Curran, who played here last year from Mullinholm, switched to the middle of the field, and Michael Breen got in centre forward where he played a lot during the league.
And he also played there at the beginning of the league final against Galway. That was 4 weeks ago. And Cork didn't quite know what to make of all of that as Connolly Hahn goes down in a heap there on the 13-metre line, and straight away the medical personnel come in to attend to him. This is how it came about here. Just a clash, collided there with James Barry, and James Barry gets a very early yellow card. That's in the opening minute.
Yeah, and James Owens, the referee who lets the game flow, but you could see there was no need there for James Barry. The ball was gone out of control, and that's a frontal charge. That's a yellow card, and you know, if it's a yellow card in the first minute, it's a yellow card. Sometimes you see those getting away with early on in the game. It
gives Cork an opportunity then for a recovered Connolly Hahn to go and take this first free of the match. So he brings it outside the 20-metre line. And an opportunity then, gilt-edged opportunity for the Rebels to go in front. Interesting, Patrick Horgan is not the one taking it. Horgan back in the team today, having been left out for a number of league matches. And that's inside the left-hand upright, and it's gone over the bar, and Connolly Hahn puts Cork in front. Well, they were behind by 9 points at half-time in the corresponding match last year, and it finished with a difference of 9 points between the teams at the end of 70 minutes as well. The most recent meeting of these teams was in the league, and that was won by Cork at Páirc Uí Rinn by just a point. But this is the championship, and Tip, the Munster and All-Ireland champions, trying to set up their first attack. Foiled, however. Mark Coleman again, diagonally across the field, over there towards Seamus Harnedy, the man from East Cork. Harnedy off his left-hand side, looking for a second point for the Rebels, and Cork lead the match by 2 points to no score. Harnedy very much back in form, the kind of form he illustrated in 2013 when Cork, of course, reached that year's All-Ireland final.
Yeah, super diagonal ball across, and Seamus Harnedy's playing at full forward, Patrick Horgan in the corner. Great take by Harnedy and over the bar, and young Luke Meade gone out right half forward. So a few changes in the Cork attack that started really well.
Darren Gleeson's long puck out down through the centre, intended there for the inside forward line. Noel McGrath coming onto it here, kicked and kicked over the bar. Point for Tipperary. And it's taken the raiding Noel McGrath to come in there, but he had a goal very much on his mind, I'm certain.
Yeah, well left by Seamus Callan. Noel McGrath plays football, obviously, with Lockmore Castellani. Great chance of a goal, really. Be disappointed he didn't finish that, a man with his skill, but he kicks it over the bar.
They have a very, very good team indeed in Lockmore Castellani. We're in the club championship last year. Cork once again. This time it is Luke Meade. Third attack, third point. What a start. Very much the outsiders, but the outsiders are leading the champions by 3 points to 1, but we're still inside the opening 4 minutes of play, and it's Luke Meade, one of the debutants, getting his point here. Short puck out taken by Tipperary. They try to work it out now, out of defence, all the way downfield. Once again it comes in over the head there of Noel McGrath. In there to help him out, however, is Michael Breen wearing the number 9, straight across the field. In there for somebody to forage and to get in well, and it's Brendan Morris coming through. Margar taking off the goalkeeper's stick and over the bar. Great raid by Tipperary, and this time Brendan Marr coming through from midfield to put that one off the goalkeeper's stick and over. 3 points to 2.
Brilliant catch there by Noel McGrath. And interesting, just watch here. It's actually John O'Dwyer, beautiful hand pass to Noel McGrath, to Brendan Marr, and he put it over the bar. Great start to the game, very open hurling so far.
Very lively stuff indeed. Tipperary back there to help out John McGrath, the blue helmet, down through the centre, beyond Michael Breen, inside towards John O'Dwyer, wearing a yellow helmet this afternoon. Back it goes as far as Dan McCormack. McCormack from Borrisoleigh gives it back as far as Sean Curran, and Curran from fair distance out, puts it over the bar. So many attacks, so many scores. Brilliant opening to the match, inside the opening 5 minutes, and they're level at 3 points apiece.
Yeah, some start of the game. Sean Kern, as I say, out in the middle of the field, and you know, interestingly enough, Tipperary's couple of attacks, they had a couple of goal chances straight away. They're running through the middle, and Cork forwards looking very sharp as well.
This is Lee Hard, should be one of the best forwards in the game. He isn't one of the best forwards, but should be rated, I think, in the top 10. Isn't always because of his inconsistency. Over there as far as Luke Meade, they're anxious to make a big impression here. That's going away to the right-hand side, and that's the first wide of the match for Cork. Luke Meade, he's back in there at a three-man midfield this afternoon. And that's going to be interesting to see how they function. That puck out isn't a good one by Tipperary. Straight to Dara Fitzgibbon. Back as far as Chris Joyce. And Joyce, the wing back, lays it upfield for Harnedy to go in there and go after. Chasing after that is John O'Keefe, the returned John O'Keefe. Last match he's played was in the All-Ireland final of 2011. Harnedy has it. Way beyond the inside forwards, but collected there well by Alan Cadigan, and Cadigan lets fly from an acute angle, splits the post, puts it over the bar, and Cork have got another one, and they go back in front again by 4 points to 3.
Yeah, and the movement of the Cork forwards are excellent so far. Alan Cadigan switched over here from the left corner in front of us over to the right corner to score that. We saw Luke Meade scoring a point here from in front of us. He's switched from right half forward to left half forward. They're moving all over the place, and they've Tipperary under a good bit of pressure here at the back.
Well, from Cork's point of view, they'll be delighted with the forward displays so far. A bit concerned about the fact that the backs have been opened on 3 occasions in the game in the opening 6 minutes. Little to choose between the teams so far. Curran tried to go through the centre. Dan McCormack tried to roll it up onto his stick. Fails to succeed in that quest, however. Hand pass across here as far as Michael Breen, and Breen puts it over the bar. Very good score by Michael Breen. That's 4 goals and 7 points he's got in his championship career so far. Set up for him by John O'Dwyer and finished by Breen, the Ballina man and UCC student. 4 apiece.
Yeah, Ger, very interesting. Every time the ball goes up to either forward line at the moment, it looks like they're going to score. They're well on top of both defences.
Anthony Nash, who's been first choice goalkeeper for Cork now for the 6th year in a row. Great catch over the head of Shane Kingston that time. Brilliantly done. Superb play by Seamus Kennedy. And in there's a problem for the Cork full-back. Damien Cahalane up against Seamus Callanan. Callanan would cause problems for any full-back in the country. And it's a marking job this afternoon that Damien Cahalane has got to pick up and do. An unenviable task in many respects. What about that for a catch? Seamus Kennedy, the wing-back, collecting it over the head of Shane Kingston. Free into Tipperary, and it'll be Seamus Callanan himself who will take it. Missed the league final. He was a big absentee that day, but that was 4 weeks ago, and now 20 metres out. He can put this one over, just 2 on the goal line, but they're anticipating the ball being knocked over, and it is indeed. So Tipperary, 4 points, now 5, and they take the lead here, I think for the first time. Through the centre, collected well here, taken down by Dara Fitzgibbon. Playing it back as far as another youngster, Mark Coleman. Up into the corner here towards Cadigan. He was tripped by John O'Keefe. And that's going to be a big task for John O'Keefe this afternoon, to keep tabs on Alan Cadigan, who had the better of his duel last year, I seem to remember, with Mickey Cahill. And a problem straight away for John O'Keefe with the referee speaking to him. Remember, James Barry's already collected a yellow card, and now another member of the full-back line for Tipperary has also got a yellow.
Yeah,
leading 5-4.
I think that's a harsh one, Jerry. You know, he did leave his hand back and trip him up, but it was actually more of a silly foul. Pádraig Maher had made up a lot of ground to cover in behind. We haven't seen Ronan or Pádraig Maher on the ball yet, but that was a silly free. And as you said earlier, interesting to see Conor Lehane on the frees. I think that's, you know, we saw Patrick Horgan drop during the league, and obviously the management putting more pressure on him to perform from general play rather than depending on him just to take the frees.
Well, that's exactly what they are saying. They're saying to Horgan, you are a very experienced, very classy player, but you've got to do it in open play. That's fired all the way down there by Ronan Marr. Brilliantly caught. Hit away from trouble there by Colm Spillane. Another debut player, just 23 years of age. This time it's Patrick Horgan is looking back towards the referee to say, did you see that? This was the challenge here. Cathal Barrett is his marker for the afternoon. That was a brilliant catch.
Yeah, it's not often you see John McGrath beaten in there. That'll give Colm Spillane great confidence. Another player new to the Cork team today.
Cathal Barrett cutting it in. Over there towards Noel McGrath, doesn't get to it. Christopher Joyce does instead. The Napierchik player soloing forward. Now where's the end product here? trying to lay it off, intended there for Horgan. In came the challenges. Horgan goes low, picks it up, shows industry and determination. Hand passes it back, however. Darragh Fitzgibbon there. I think the first Charleville man to play in a championship match at this level for Cork. In as far as Horgan once again. Outside it goes out to the wings towards Lehan. Lehan off his left-hand side, 50 metres out from the target, and it swings away to the right-hand side. And that's a second wide now by Cork. Teams level, 5 points apiece, 10 minutes gone.
Yeah, I think that was an important passage of play. You saw some hard tackling by Tipperary there. Christopher Joyce made a great run up the field, but, you know, bad wide at the end of it all, and you need to be scoring those chances.
Darren Gleeson, all the way down through the centre again. John O'Dwyer keeps on coming across for those anticipating, but it's Dan McCormack who's got it instead, and the umpires have a look at it and wave the white flag, and Dan McCormack gets just his second ever championship point. His first was in the All-Ireland final last September, and here he is putting Tip in front by 6 points to 5. It's rip-roaring so far, really good pace, great attacking play, great scores from both sets of forwards. Anthony Nash, teacher in Mitchelstown CBS, up there through the centre, intended for Harnedy, collected by John Barry instead, or James Barry I should say, helped out by Seamus Kennedy. Down into the corner here once again, it's Colm Spillane who collects that one ahead of John McGrath, and he's done well so far. Bill Cooper, low ball, really good ball inside to the inside forwards, into Cadigan, looks over his right shoulder, has a go, swings on it beautifully and floats it over the bar. It's another one for Alan Cadigan, his second point of the match.
That's a brilliant score, John. Colm Spillane has had a great start, and John McGrath played a great ball up, and to me Alan Cadigan has been the most underrated hurler. There's Spillane again with a brilliant catch over John McGrath, but I think Alan Cadigan has been one of the most underrated forwards in the country over the last number of years. He's generally scored 4 and 5 points from play, even on beaten Cork teams, and that's another great score. And John O'Keefe on the yellow card can't get too close.
What about that for a catch by the centre half back Mark Ellis into the middle towards Darragh Fitzgibbon, working his socks off in the centre of the park there, and that ball out over the sideline. Teams level for the 4th time in this match with 12 minutes gone. Well, we've been waiting some time for a really good Munster Championship match. Let's hope this continues in the same vein. So far, so good. Good catch by Mark Ellis, the Mill Street player, playing in his 13th championship match. It'll be Cathal Barrett who will take this, a player who's come back from some ankle surgery during the winter, so this was just his 3rd match of the season so far, 2 in the league, this one in the championship. Won by Dan McCormack, laid off well towards Noel McGrath, ran out of space, ran out of opportunity to get the ball in play. 3 players from Cork converging on him. That seems to be the change of attitude this time. Last year Cork stood back, allowed Tipperary to dominate. This time they're going in, they're closing the space on Tipperary time and again.
Yeah, I see Cathal Barrett switched on to Alan Cadigan, John O'Keefe gone over the other corner onto Patrick Horgan, and that's as a result of that yellow card.
13 minutes gone, 12 scores so far. Might be another one here for Patrick Horgan. Took his opportunity, knocks it over the bar. His first chance, his first score, playing in his 42nd ever championship match. Cork lead by 7 points to 6.
Yeah, they're going to be thrilled with this start up front. You know, all of the forwards really have the Tipperary defenders under pressure, all doing very well, and with the ability to have, look, on paper, it looks a phenomenal Cork forward line. They're getting great ball, and their half-back line doing very well under the high ball. Here's Mark Ellis again.
Ellis making another catch. Michael Breen, the man who's marking him this evening. And this time the referee has decided that Ellis holds on too long. That's
well, I think he was fouled. He makes a great catch. He switches hands here, falls down, and Michael Breen stood him up, and the hand on the back and down on top of him. I certainly think that was a free out.
Well, it's going to be a free to Tipperary anyway. The referee, James Owens from Wexford, the one who makes the call. And a chance for Tipperary to draw level once more. Seamus Calden stands over it, just outside the D, which means he's about 40 metres from the target. Breeze blowing from right to left as he's hitting this one, makes no mistake. 2 from 2 for the great man from Drum and Inch. Real towering figure, 28 years of age now, Seamus Calden. Always remembered for the 13 points he scored in last year's All-Ireland final against Kilkenny, and 9 of them, of course, were from open play. Phenomenal performance. Anthony Nash pucking it out over towards Lehan, catches it well with that left hand, goes off then. Ronan Marr goes after him. It's Lehan, assertive, dominating, And does he finish? Not quite. Or they're not quite sure, because the umpires have decided we need Hawkeye. I thought they had a reasonably good angle on that one.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal catch, and Conor Lahan just left Ronan Maher for dead. You know, that's what they're trying to do. Ronan Maher wouldn't be the fastest defender in the world. He's a great hurler, great hands, and they're dragging him all over the place. We'll wait here now for the result of Hawkeye.
Quarter of an hour gone in this match, and so far I think everybody's enjoyed it. It's not the blowout that an awful lot of people have been fearing from a Cork point of view. And let's see what Hawkeye has determined. Is it a kneel or a toe? It's a kneel. It's outside.
Yeah, good call by the umpires, Jerry. You know,
Good call,
that's
yeah.
why it was brought in, and you know, I think in the past there was probably games decided on decisions like that. And,
No doubt about it.
Good call.
Darren Gleeson going left half forward this time, over towards Noel McGrath. It's worth doing. He catches it, plays it back here, back as far as Paddy Maher. We haven't mentioned him so far, and he's driven it away to the left-hand side. Well, last year, you may remember, he ended up getting man of the match. Cork were playing a sweeper. They kept on hitting the ball out of defence straight to Paddy Maher or his brother Ronan, and they dominated proceedings. This time Cork goes short, out of the back. Christopher Joyce in as far as Dara Fitzgibbon. Fitzgibbon working it forward here towards Lee Hahn, working extremely hard in this match. Out of luck the last time because of Hawkeye. No such doubt in anybody's mind this time, and Lee Hahn has got a third. The first two were from freeze, this one from open play, and maybe this will be the day when he will really turn it on in a big match against Tipperary.
Yeah, the difference there, Jerry, was work rate, as you mentioned earlier on. Last year that wouldn't have come off for Cork, but they're working that bit harder and they're fighting for every ball, and Conor Lahan full of running so far.
Bill Cooper back in here as far as Fitzgibbon, beaten for it by by Brendan Maher, and in the end it's hit over by John McGrath. Well, he only needs half a chance, and McGrath has scored, and now he's one of 5 forwards to score so far. The only one not to score so far in play has been John O'Dwyer in the other corner.
And all the great players have that bit of confidence, you know, and John McGrath beaten for the first few balls. The first chance he gets then, cool as a breeze over the bar.
John O'Dwyer, by the way, this afternoon being marked by Stephen MacDonald, who's moved across to left corner back to pick him up. This ball is in as far as Sean Curran. Plays it low, in towards the aforementioned John O'Dwyer. Back out he comes again towards Michael Breen, and Breen pops it over the bar with a minimum of fuss, maximum of effort, and he's got a second point. Lovely little reverse pass there from O'Dwyer. Out to Breen, and it's now 9 points to 8.
That's a brilliant score, Ger. John O'Dwyer is so unselfish so far. That's 3 points that have come off him. Real quick hands, and you'll see now that gives him the option later maybe of selling a dummy and taking on a ball himself. But he's really playing for the team so far.
No side capable so far of opening up a big gap. It's always just a point or so. This is Kingston. Yet to see him really flourish in this match. Good ball inside towards a 2-man inside forward line, and it's Harnedy who eventually gets it, takes it on. Har partly blocked that time, and the Tipperary defence stands firm, and Paddy Maher manages to get it out as far as his younger brother Ronan, and Ronan drives it a good 70 metres way downfield, down there towards Bubbles, leaves it off as far as Callan over his left shoulder, and wide of the target as well. But a potential goal opportunity at the other end.
I think you'll see a very important block there from Cathal Barrett. Seamus Harnedy, ball broke to him, and Cathal Barrett made a great block.
It's so quick, it's so exciting, this match. Dara Fitzgibbon going right through the centre, nobody able to stop him. He had an option out to the right, had the confidence to hit it himself, but he might have just used the player on the wing, who was Luke Meade. That becomes wide number 4 for Cork. 9-8, Tip still lead midway through this first half. Perfect day for hurling, really, not too warm.
Yeah, if you watch here now, Seamus Harnedy, just Cathal Barrett comes in with a phenomenal block down. Eyes on the ball, that's great skill, great bravery. Well done, Cathal.
It really was. That time, the ball over there intended for John O'Dwyer, but didn't quite make it. Michael Breen also appealing, and the linesman, who is Paul O'Dwyer from Carlow, indicating that it's going to be a line ball for Tipperary. Bubbles thinking about taking it, and in fact he is going to be the designated taker. Player who can turn a game in a moment of genuine quality, such as the ability he's got. Catches it, hits it, puts it beautifully over. Great sideline. Oh, we've seen some absolutely brilliant skills so far. Pure joy to watch. 10 points to 8. Tip lead. Little between the teams, however. Nash, this time targeting Shane Kingston. Not able to hold on to it, however. Applies pressure. Referee allows play to continue as that ball came back towards Luke Meade, and the ball flies over the bar. Wonderful scores. That is 19 points so far in 19 minutes. Not half bad.
No, great start, wide open game, and you know, Jared, what a game hurling is when it's played like this, with no sweepers and everybody attacking, you know. And Cork came here last year with 7-8 backs and didn't trust themselves, and they're out here today hurling from the heart and off the cuff, and that's what I love to see anyway.
And the weather conditions are certainly helping. Last year was a real downpour all the way through, impossible for the fans to generate any kind of excitement. Game wasn't good as well. This time it's the complete opposite. A real pile-up, prodded forward by Mark Ellis, won back by the other number 6, who is Ronan Maher. All the way down towards Noel McGrath, can't get to it. Bill Cooper helping out his captain that time, Stephen MacDonald. They forage in the middle of the field, try to get it. Noel McGrath has it. Paddy Maher was making a run forward. He decides to go back towards Ronan Maher instead. In towards John O'Dwyer, Bubbles collecting, delivering it back towards McCormick, and Dan McCormick standing outside the 45-metre line, swings it away to the left-hand side, and that's only the third wide for Tipperary in this match. They continue to lead by a point, 10-9. Quick puck out, Nash looking for a loose player, Meade's that loose player, Newcestown youngster, gives it away, however, bad ball straight to Paddy Maher. Collecting it here is Sean Curran, lets it fall and then goes after it. Blocked out here by Mark Coleman. Nothing's going to pass him by. Into Bill Cooper. Cooper from the middle of the field. A real hit and hope one. Will he make it? Not quite.
Oh, the boys inside the full forward line. Alan Cadigan was 10 or 15 yards away from Cathal Barrett, and he was looking for a ball to be played in front of him, and just a rush of blood there from Bill Cooper. A little bit of a lull there the last couple of minutes, a couple of wides, but up to that, you know, there's only been a handful, I think, in the game.
As the managers look on, Darren Gleeson pucks this one out down towards Michael Breen. He collects it well with that left hand, spoons it forward here as far as Brendan Maher, and Brendan Maher inside the 45-metre line, swings on it, but swings on it wide as well. It was a good catch, it was a good layoff, it was a decent chance, still one between them. 10-9, great match, 22 minutes gone. The puck out over towards right half forward this time, intended for Kingston, but he's not getting the better of Paddy Maher so far. Into Sean Curran. Curran slipping, partly blocked. The referee indicates a free. Free to Tipperary. Good fast pacey game. Here's Curran again, and that was where he was caught there by Shane Kingston. Kingston has come back from a broken leg, but he's a minor 2 years ago. Back to the full of his health, into John O'Dwyer, and Bubbles from an impossible angle, comes back down. John McGrath trying to stay on his feet, getting a chance to hit it, but off the Cork player, and it comes back out again. Bill Cooper's back there helping out. Another good block by Michael Breen this time. Cooper once again goes, collects, hits it from inside his own 45-metre line, way downfield. Racing out to get it is James Barry. Fumbles his initial attempt. Harnedy goes back, prods it back as far as Shane Kingston, and Kingston hits it from a distance and lands it over the bar. Wonderful play. Terrific opportunity for both sides at both ends. And finally finished by Shane Kingston, 10 apiece.
He was the last of the young lads that needed to get a score to settle him in. That's all 6 Cork forwards have scored from play now, and you saw Bubbles Dwyer with a great shot there, came back off the post, and John McGrath reacted quickly, got it up, but it was cleared away, and there's Kieran Kingston on the end of that, and draw match, and Cork well deserving this draw so far.
Level several times. Again, going forward here is Brendan Maher, last year's captain, in as far as Michael Breen, and Breen splits the post with his third point of this first half. And he's one man who's getting opportunities now. We saw Mark Ellis earlier on catch a few really, really good balls, but he's got to keep very close tabs on Michael Breen.
Yeah, well, that's one fault in Cork's game. They're not picking up that runner from the middle of the field. See Michael Breen, Brendan Maher, Dan McCormick, all getting coming off the shoulder and creating the extra man, and Cork not picking up that runner.
Harnedy jumps, doesn't catch, but he's supported here by Luke Meade. Made a big impact in this year's league, and he's making an impact on his debut in the championship. He's just cracked over his third point. What Michael Breen can do for Tip, Luke Meade is doing from a deep position for Cork, and it's now 11 apiece once again.
Yeah, and what's really confused the Tip defenders is the movement of the Cork forwards. They're switching not just positions, they're switching on the field as well. Luke Meade now at left half forward, Pat Horgan over at left corner forward, and they were on the right wing a few minutes ago. So the Tip defenders at 6 and 7s, different styles of players meeting them every few minutes.
Mark Coleman was anticipating that ball might break off the sticks of a couple of Cork backs. went back, collected it, picked up here by Horgan. Patrick Horgan, who got 15 points when these teams last met in the league, needs the goalkeeper stick to touch it over the bar, but the credit will go to Horgan. 15 points in Porkyreen about 8 weeks ago in the league match between the teams. 10 from frees, 1 from a 65, and 1 in the 74th minute of that match to win the tie for Cork. They're ahead here, 12-11.
Yeah, Jared, the quality of these scores is just unbelievable. That's on the sideline, 70 yards out, and he just gave it a little flick of his wrist and over the bar. And a great catch again by Darragh Fitzgibbon.
Wonderful catch, back into Mark Ellis, pursued. They can't get to him. An opportunity to lob it forward here towards Alan Cadigan. 2 points so far for him. Marking him is Cathal Barrett. Had a really wretched time of it in Limerick 4 weeks ago in the league final. But that was against Galway, against Cork this afternoon, and they're not clearing their lines. And Lee Hans possibly in here, trying to get by, helped out by Barrett. Barrett hand passing it back out as far as James Barry, and Barry in the end, at the end of a rough challenge there from Seamus Harnedy. And it's got to be a free out for Tipperary.
It's going to be a free out in the yellow card. But just look at the ferocity of that tackling from the Cork defender. That's a high tackle. And but you're just the work rate of Cork, and you can see how hungry they are, and they look extraordinarily fit this year as well.
So Harnedy gets a yellow card, and the man he's marking, of course, James Barry, got a yellow card much earlier on. But it's some rip-roaring game. There's no quarter given, none expected here. It's a real traditional old-style Munster championship match between the teams who have dominated the championship over the years. Cork, 51 Munster titles, Tip 42. They have been the big two in Munster over the years. A championship that goes way back along. Their first ever meeting was in 1888 in Bonavent, and here all these years later the youngsters of Tipperary and Cork are giving it everything they have in a wonderful match so far. Luke Meade soloing, 2 men after him. Michael Breen's one of him, hooking it well. Really good play by Breen. Tipperary win it back once again as a result of that. Noel McGrath back to Sean Curran. McGrath able to take a return ball, an elegant player. Diagonally across over here, going for it is Seamus Callanan. Callanan beating his man, striking it well and hitting it beautifully over. It's a third for Seamus Callanan.
Well, Jerry, we've seen some great scores in the match, but have we seen a better one than that? Michael Breen at centre forward, he covered 40-50 yards to hook Luke Meade. He thought he was just going to tap it over the bar, and then Noel McGrath's hurling brain. Look at his hook, but Noel McGrath's hurling brain, he could have went for a score from 90 yards. Instead, a lovely diagonal ball to Callanan. Great first touch and over the bar, super score.
8 minutes to go. Harnedy comes out for it, tries to get it, and challenges Sean Curran, who went down over the sideline. And David O'Sullivan, the Cork Moir Forna, out here arguing the point. There's the linesman who is Mick Murta from Westmeath. You might remember seeing him that day in Nolan Park when the famous game between Tipperary and Wexford, and the Davy Fitz incident, and he was the linesman trying to get Davy off the park.
I wouldn't argue with Dermot O'Sullivan either over a lane ball. Well off to give it to them. It's easier.
Seamus Harnedy wearing 10 in it full forward, as so many people anticipated he would be. It's got to be a Cork line ball, and it's got to be Mark Coleman who will hit it. Catches it well, strikes it beautifully. Should be the goalkeepers who saw it late. Good stop there by Darren Gleeson. Both goalkeepers keeping their goals intact so far. Don't remember any real goal opportunities for either team developing. Michael Breen's 3 points so far. This time he's the supplier of that ball in there towards Bubbles and Seamus Callanan. Back it comes towards Noel McGrath. His younger brother was on his right hand side, didn't need him, hit it magnificently. Beautiful crisp strike, technically so good, and he puts Tipperary back in front again.
Yeah, lovely little flick out again by John, and Noel looked at his options and had the ability to swing around his left side and stick it over the bar.
That time it's Lee Hahn, and it's caught by Tony Marr. Back as far as Ronan Marr. Ronan, who played so wonderfully well in the All-Ireland final last September. This time it's a giveaway to Stephen MacDonald, Cork captain, the Glen Rovers man, in over the head of Harnedy, inside towards Cadigan, and Cadigan's taken down outside the 13-metre line, and it's going to be a free in for the Douglas man and his teammates. This time causing real problems for Cathal Barrett. The helmet went flying as well. Here's the challenge again, and it was...
Well, he knew exactly what he was doing. That's a professional foul in soccer, but that's a yellow card, and he got away with it. We saw a yellow card for John O'Keefe for a harmless little hand trip out here, so there's no consistency in that, and that should be a yellow card.
Well, the referee is having a word with him, but as you say, no card issued to Cathal
It was a
Barrett.
clear goal chance. If he went around him, he was in on goal, and he just dragged him down and went running at the ref and appealing, claiming that Cadigan pulled him down, which obviously didn't happen.
Well, every opportunity that the two inside forwards get, and Cadigan, they are causing serious problems for that Tipperary rear guard, but it must also be said that Tipperary's forwards have certainly caused problems aplenty for Cork's backs, but everybody thought and knew that was going to happen. It was a case of how well the forwards could do. So far, it's a shootout in Thurles, and they're sharing 25 points between them. It's Lee Hahn, 3 points so far, 2 frees, 1 from play, and now he gets his latest. He's doing well with the frees. 3 from 3. 5 minutes to go to half-time, and they are level at 13 points apiece. 10 times they have been level in this match. People have been saying we haven't seen a good Munster Championship match for a while. You're looking at it, folks. Darren Gleeson hitting this one. Down towards Dan McCormack. Breaks away from him. Picked up once again by Fitzgibbon. Again, working and beavering away in the middle of the field. He's new to the Tipperary opponents, and he gives it out to another newcomer, who's Shane Kingston, and between them the youngsters combine, and Kingston's got a second, and Cork lead by 14 points to 30.
Yeah, Darragh Fitzgibbon's having a super game in the middle of the field. And just look at the hurling brain there, the intelligence, just to lay off the ball to the finishing forward, running beside him. Great support play and a great score.
When the team was announced on Friday, there was real surprise in Cork that Fitzgibbon had been played or listed to play at midfield. He's much more of a half forward, but he's doing really well. At the other end, Dan McCormack doing his stuff for Tipperary, slipping however, and Colin Spillan's able to go back, collect it, blocked down, goes off his Tipperary stick, and it's going to be a line ball. It was Joyce, in fact, who got it last. Christopher Joyce. Very, very accomplished wing back is Joyce. Came back from a career-threatening injury a couple of years ago. Michael Breen wearing number 9, but playing at the half-forward line. Line ball to Cork.
Yeah, see Mick Ryan there, Ger, on the side, trying to jizz up his forward. There's just Tipperary just seemed to be that little bit flat, like they were maybe against Galway, you know, and he's looking for a harder work rate, more tackling from his forwards.
3 minutes to go to the break. The forwards have it again. It's Stan McCormack under hitting it this time. A little block on it anyway, but it breaks for Breen, trying to get the better of Coleman. Helping out here is John McGrath in through 3 defenders, flicking it back. Anticipating there was John O'Dwyer, and Bubble steps away from trouble and hits it off his left-hand side and puts it beautifully inside the right-hand upright and over the bar. Great play by Bubbles. He's got a sideline point, and now he's got a point from play as well. And the tip forwards combined with lethal efficiency and make it 14 points apiece.
It's a long time, I think, Jerson, I saw Bubbles O'Dwyer as sharp looking as he is today. You know, he was sent off last year, was dropped for a couple of games and got back in and out, but he's after laying on a few scores. His first touch is brilliant in his movement, and that's a super score.
It was really, really subdued, I thought, at the concluding stages of the league this year. Calden right now, by the way, who's scored 3 points in the match so far, 2 from freezes out around the half-forward line. They raid again, and that is Paddy Marr. He always scores in good matches, and he's done it here in his 38th championship match and given Tipperary a slight edge as we go into the 34th minute.
Yeah, and we mentioned early on maybe he hadn't been in the game, but in the last 15 minutes I think he's been powerful, and he's moving with his man. He's out around the middle of the field there, and that's a super point. What Pádraig Maher does, it didn't look to be on, but he managed to get a stroke away, and he tipped it over the bar.
Well, it's a brilliant start to the Munster Hurling Championship, and let's hope the Hurling Championship, Munster and Leinster, and into the All-Ireland Series will be equally as good right throughout the summer. And you can see it all, of course, here at RTE, as that's played in by Lee Hahn. Beautifully in there towards Cadigan, catches it well, strikes it over his left shoulder, and strikes it superbly over the bar. A third for Alan Cadigan.
And that's a great catch. You know, Alan Cadigan's not a big man, but the bravery, a great ball by Conor Lehane. And you can see them when they do pinpoint that full back line of Cork, when they don't take the long shot from out the field, that full forward line, Alan Cadigan and Seamus Harrod in particular have the tip full back line in big trouble.
Well, if Tipperary thought that this was going to be another pretty easy routine victory over Cork, they might be thinking of something else as they approach half-time now, because they're getting their fill of it, no question about that, from the young Cork players. Cork had to go with youth this time. 2 players on the deck inside. James Barry collects, meanwhile, drives it back down towards a 2-man inside forward line. And Cowland's in! save. Callan goes again, trying to go by his man, who's Coleman this time, shows him aside, up comes down. And the Cork fans here in the crowd of around 30,000 responding to their full-back and goalkeeper. That's missed by James Barry. It's not missed here by Hardity, striking! And that ball has gone off the goalkeeper's stick, and it's gone for a 65 to Gabe Spurs. Wow, what action at both ends. This is amazing stuff in the Munster Championship.
Yeah, well, first of all, Seamus Callan had a brilliant chance of a goal there, and Anthony Nash, very brave, stood up, blocked him with his feet. But Seamus Hardy, if he squared this ball, if you look where Alan Cadigan is there, just flicked the ball across to him. All he did was tap it into an empty net. He took on the shot himself. It was blocked out for a 65. Great passage of play. And I was just going to say, you'd want to see where they're having a look at this. Did it go wide or did he get a touch to it? We didn't see a replay of it yet. They're giving a wide ball now.
It's some additional time.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
I think they gave a wide ball, and Seamus Callan, I think, would be disappointed he didn't finish his chance, but equally so Seamus Hardy. As I say, if he just flicked that ball across the middle, Alan Cadigan was straight in, just a tap in.
And the referee having words, as you can see here, with both men, Cathal Barrett and Alan Cadigan. And as you say, no 65, so it's a case of keeping going. We've played 1 minute of added time, right into the second minute at this stage. Teams level at 15 points apiece. Who's going to take the lead to the break? Seamus Kennedy trying to set up Noel McGrath. Will this be the edge that Tipperary are looking for? Not quite. It goes away to the left-hand side. That's a fifth wide by Tipperary, 6 wides by Cork in the first half. But it's been a case of score after score after score. Teams sharing 30 points in all. Wonderful first half of real exhilarating hurling. It's a shootout between the big two in Munster here. That puck out isn't a great one, but it might work out yet for Cork. Christopher Joyce, as far as Mark Ellis. Ellis lobbing it in here towards Seamus Harnedy, trying to break it down to himself. Harnedy looking to try and get space. James Barry prods it away as far as Sean Curran, and Curran in the end knocks it away downfield into that inside forward line. They've come out a bit deep for it. Mark Ellis is there and the referee has blown his whistle. It's the end of the opening 35-37 minutes. What a first half. The teams have been level on 12 occasions, and they're level going into the break. There were so many questions about how Cork would be able to put it up to Tipperary, or how much Tipperary might lord it over Cork. Well, what about that for a first half? And here at Semple Stadium at the break, it's Tipperary 15 points, Cork 15 points, and we're back with analysis when we return in just a moment.
Littlewoods Ireland, proud sponsor of the GAA Hurling Championship.
It was Aideen that found him. We could have saved him. His heart stopped. That's all there is to it. It's not.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
You took some pictures? I didn't know it was him.
I need you to get this to the lab. Photos for enhancement.
You took me from my mother.
She didn't want you.
I don't know how it happened, Dad.
How dare you come here? You have no right to stir this up.
Red Water, tonight at 9:30 on RTE1.
The future of driving is closer than you think. Make the future your present. With technology upgrades, 0% PCP finance and deposit contributions of up to €2,000. Visit your local Volkswagen retailer to find out more.
Guinness has always been about beer and people. And many of us have entered these gates in the footsteps of our parents and grandparents. 258 years ago, we signed a 9,000-year. We have a lot more beer to make.
Clever humans choose Energia, saving 15% off dual fuel and getting €150 cash back. Fierce clever little yolks.
Whoa! My car! Our car? Oh, my body-coloured bumper.
Shouldn't he be getting out?
I waited 6 weeks for that paint.
Mark, he's driving off. Mark, he's going! He's going! Oh, he's gone.
Where's your man gone?
The AXA red line, look.
AXA red line, boom!
At AXA, we don't think you should lose your no-claims discount if hit by an uninsured driver. So our claim without blame benefit means that you won't. Call, visit or click. AXA, redefining standards.
If you have nagging joint pain, a day can feel like weeks. Time for Voltarol Extra Strength Gel. Unlike tablets, the gel concentrates relief where it matters most, deep in the joints. Fight pain and inflammation all day long with Voltarol Extra Strength Gel. Ask your pharmacist. Voltarol, the joy of movement.
The word free may have lost its power, but not at Air. Sign up to Air's high-speed broadband and mobile bundle for €70 a month for the first 12 months and get a lot for free. A free 4G mobile plan with unlimited data, calls and texts for a whole year, and a free iPhone SE to enjoy it. Plus free Air Sport and BT Sport. Yes, we made free epic again. Get Ireland's favourite broadband and so much more. Call 1-800-500-300, go in store or visit air.ie.
Live well with Centra, proud sponsor of the All-Ireland Senior Hurling Championship.
It is indeed half-time here at Semple Stadium in this Munster Hurling Championship quarter-final between Tipperary and Cork. And it is all square at 15 points apiece in front of an attendance of 30,103. I have no doubt they're enjoying it. Cyril Ger and Henry here with me in studio. Henry, since you came on this panel, the lads here were worried that you weren't seeing like as they thought it should be, kind of. Well, we're seeing it today.
Yeah, definitely third time lucky for me because it's absolutely fascinating hurling. It's awesome. It's everything we as hurling people want to see, and for the viewers at home, great scores, goal chances, tip for attack. 12 times there were 11 during the course of the first half. It was just absolutely brilliant, and it was everything that I grew up listening to about Munster hurling. We're getting it here today,
and the weather has been kind to us as well, which I suppose adds to the occasion. We were saying earlier on, lads, I gave the attendance 30,000. That'd be, you were saying, Henry, there'd be another 5 at home at least, saying, "Cripes, we should have gone to that."
Well,
game.
there'd been an awful lot, because they've said, there was so much negative publicity leading into it, but it's just superb, and the way Cork are using the ball from the puck out to the crossfield ball, the diagonal ball, the way they're keeping it open. Everything we said at the start of the game. They have to keep it open, they have to stretch them, they have to run at them, but don't let it get crowded. And the quality of the striking on both sides. And then on the other side, you have Tip's know-how, the level of skill. They have 9 different scorers in the first half. Coming from midfield, all the forwards have scored from play. Sean Curran from midfield has scored. It's just absolutely fantastic. I do think, though, that you still get the feeling the Tip are playing within themselves. And Bill Cooper at the middle of the field, he's not covering that back line well enough. It looks very open. Tip got 2 goal chances at the start of the game. But listen, we can't take it. It is magnificent hurling.
I've no doubt that Ger is right, Cyril, but we also have to take into context now from what we've seen in that first half. That league final again. Now, everybody is saying that wasn't a real match, and it probably wasn't in many respects. But still, Tip haven't kind of blown this Cork team away, and it's beginning to open a question.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'd say they learned from the league final, Cork have in the sense that the Cork forwards are moving the whole time. The young fellas, especially young Mead, Kingston, these fellas they're in the peak forward, they're moving all over the place. Cork full forward line have scored 8 points in play. It's the movement up front. But now Tip, as Gerard said, are getting caught with quick puck out. But we have to realise we're up here, in our kind of box here. There is a strong breeze there, and maybe it's a lot stronger than we think.
Yeah.
And I'd say Cork have done all the hurling really, and they're still going in on 11. They'll be happy because they are going at Tip, and they had a kind of a goal chance themselves. So Tip, walk through the middle at times, not flowing the way that they would intend to flow. But the likes of Pádraig Maher and these kind of coming into the game as the game goes on. If Tip shove up and the Cork puck out, make it 1-1, it'll be interesting to see what happens. And definitely, at least in the second half, with that breeze behind him, if he wants to, he can go direct down on top of the Cork. That'll be very dangerous.
Well, indeed, as Cyril said, even though the sun is shining in Thurles, it is a very breezy day here. Let's see what part that plays in the second half. We have another break to take here on the programme, but don't go anywhere, because next on the Sunday game is a chance for you to be at the All-Irelands in September. Accommodation and spending money also provided. The details are coming up.
That's impossible. How can someone who's deaf sit down at a piano and play Beethoven or Liszt?
An inspiring documentary.
Music has rescued her from a very silent, lonely life.
About the life and work of deaf and visually impaired musician Orla O'Sullivan.
Orla is a prime example of do not let anyone else define you. You define yourself.
Good Vibrations, Thursday at 10:15 on RTE1.
Bonnie and Clyde, Bonnie and Clyde.
Life's always more interesting with a partner in crime. The all-new Nissan Micra. Meet the accomplice. Meet the all-new Nissan Micra from €16,650.
At Apache Pizza, we know that the finest ingredients make the tastiest pizza, like our hot new Aztec pizza, made with delicious chipotle and tomato sauce, fresh mozzarella, mixed peppers, red onion, spicy beef and chorizo. And it's yours for just $9.99 when you order with the Apache Pizza app. Happy days.
New Corsidol Ultra Clean toothpaste helps stop and prevent bleeding gums. If you spit blood, you may have gum disease and could be on a journey to much worse. Help stop the journey of gum disease. Switch to Corsidol toothpaste. It's 4 times effective at removing the main cause of bleeding gums. For healthy gums and strong teeth, help leave bleeding gums behind. Corsidol Ultra Clean.
I think we're in slow motion.
If Carlsberg did kickabout, they would probably be the best in the world.
I remember having frequent heartburn. I was always reaching for short-term relief, over and over again. But when my heartburn kept waking me up, I decided to take control. So I went to my pharmacy and got Nexium Control.
Just 1 pill a day could give you 24-hour protection and 0 heartburn.
Now that I'm protected, what a difference.
The best entertainment deserves awesome Wi-Fi. Get 240 meg broadband, Virgin TV and phone from €49 a month on a 12-month contract.
Littlewoods Ireland, proud sponsor of the GAA Hurling Championship.
We're giving you the chance to win your choice of an All-Ireland hurling or football final trip in September. This great prize includes a 2-night, 5-star break in the beautiful Conrad Hotel Dublin on your chosen All-Ireland final weekend. You'll be treated to a luxury suite, dinner in their Coburg Brasserie, important match tickets and €1,000 spending money to make it a weekend to remember. For your chance to win, answer this. Which county won the 2016 All-Ireland Hurling Championship? Kilkenny, Galway or Tipperary? To enter, call 1517 71 71 82 or text the word GAME followed by your answer and name to 57001. Calls from the Air network will cost €2.03. Calls from other networks may be higher. Viewers in the north can also text to 57001 or call the number on screen. You must be over 18 to enter. Lines will close at midday on Tuesday, June 6th. Full details are on rte.ie/competitions, where the lucky winner will also be revealed.
And good luck with that now. Will Tipperary or Cork take a step on that journey today at half-time? To remind you, the sides are level at 15 points apiece. I'd say, gentlemen, the most stirring thing about that first half with respect to Tipperary is the way Cork have taken some of their scores and the way they've torn into the game, if you like, and put it up to the All-Ireland champions.
And playing with freedom as well. That's the whole thing. This you're always afraid of an inexperienced team or a team that's losing, that they'll be very inhibited, but the quality of the scoring, the quality of the striking, only six wides to 5 in the first half, 15 scores each. I mean, that tells you how composed both teams are when they're on the ball.
And if you see there Mark Coleman, he's looking up because this is the way they're trying to spread out Tip, open them up like Galway did in the league final. Seamus Harmony into the square. That was a great diagonal ball across. The next point, Seamus Harmony again. It's a diagonal back across to the other side of the field. And I think it's Shane Kingston who gets, Alan Cadogan gets in the end of this, who played brilliantly in the first half. Now, the only thing about that, Michael, is that they're getting great scores, but they're not threatening many goals. And I think they're going to need the goal to win this match. But we've said it before, they have the wrists and the hurling, and some of the scores are brilliant. And they are working very hard as well.
Yeah, and Cadogan has got 3 points in corner forward, and the same as Mead. They're moving around left and right. They are taking their chances. They only got 1 goal chance, but some of the scores have been fantastic. Here, bang over the bar. That's his first championship game, Luke Mead. I've seen him playing, for Mary I, and he's very, very good when he's on the ball. Very light now and very fast. But the test will come. You'll find that Tip will move up in the puck-outs, Michael. They'll have to fight 1-to-1, and in the second half, Gleeson's puck-out probably will go down top of the square.
You're spot on, yeah. And as well as that, will the young lads keep it up? They're so inexperienced. There'll be 35 minutes in a young lad, and all the young lads, Colin Spillane made 2 brilliant catches early on in the game. As Mark Coleman is just wing back. A bit naive in some of his distribution. Fitzgibbon is the man of the match so far, and then you have Kingston and Mead inside. Kingston has 2 points and Mead 3 points score. So really, you need Hannady now, and you need Horgan to come into the game a bit more, especially Horgan at full forward. They're going to need those to win the game, but I still think they need to protect that half-back line better. And Bill Cooper, Fitzgibbon is going forward and there's no one holding back.
But Cooper isn't covering back. But what they really need to win the game, they really need at least a goal. They need to get a goal, but Tip in the back foot. Because if they don't, you're going to find Tip will come down the middle and probably get one.
The thing about it is, Henry, as much as we're admiring what Cork did, Tip have got some great points as well. And in actual fact, 1 or 2 of them were goal chances.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I suppose Tip will be happy about. They are creating the chances, and as Gerald's pointed out, it's coming from mistakes coming through the spine of the team. This ball just breaks through all the way through. Noel McGrath gets onto it. This is very early in the match. Good footballer as well, kicks it and goes over the bar. And the next score is very similar again. John O'Dwyer, who's been absolutely magnificent for Tipperary. Brilliant cut. And look at him, straight away, he sees the chance. Brendan Mark cuts through the middle again. Gerald's point, Cork are not defending that middle third, but they've got some great scores as well, just like Cork. Seamus Canalan across out in front, and he's a brilliant jink. Leaves Damien Canalan behind him and straight over the black spot. And Tip have got some great scores again by using the diagonal ball. And that's what has us on the edge of the seat, is that the great scores both teams are performing today. And I think it's a sign of true champions. Tip mightn't have played as well as Cork, but they're still level with them.
And they've created 3 great goal chances. I mean, Cork has just won, but one of those goals will come. Who will get it?
Yeah.
It is time to hand back to the commentary box to rejoin Ger Canagan, Michael Dignan.
Ready for action once again, Michael, after that first half of 37 minutes and 30 scores shared. No changes on either team. Started the second half, and ball thrown in by the referee, James Owens. Match underway, and who's going to get the first decent possession? It's Cork, and once again, it is Connolly Hahn. Out over the sideline. The Tipperary management jumping up and down there. You had Michael Ryan and Declan Fanning, the Muir Forna. urging the linesman to wave the flag immediately. It's a tight, tense match. Anything can happen.
Absolutely, Ger, and just that was one thing just before half-time I commented on. I just thought Tipperary looked a little bit flat, and Michael Ryan wasn't happy on the sideline. Just that type of a tackle that Dan McCormack made there, that was missing in the first half.
Lehan once again from that line ball there, which was by Brendan Marr, down into space, should be collected by Ronan Marr, hand passing it into John O'Keefe, and O'Keefe sends it into the forwards, 2 against 1 in there. Callanan is the one, coming across Damien Cahalane, son of Niall, of course, who was an all-star footballer back in the 1980s. Out it comes to Colm Spillane, way downfield. No hanging around with this one, all the way down towards Cadogan, and Cadogan is upended, much to the annoyance of Cathal Barrett, who felt it was an honourable challenge. There was just a little connection of legs there, I think, but not intentional. Free awarded, free to Cork, opportunity for them to take an early lead in the second half, just as they did at the very beginning of the game when Conor Lehan pointed the opening free in the opening minute.
Well, I was listening to Tip FM coming down during the car, and they were wishing Cathal Barrett all the best from his grandmother, 101-year-old granny, watching that. So I'm sure she's going mad with the few freezes after giving away there as well, but definitely a flick there. So we'll say hello to Jenny, 101 years of age.
Well, I hope she's enjoying it, and every other granny as well. Conor Lehan with a 5th point of this match, and Cork still in front, 16 points to 15. Remember, it's a Tipperary team going for 3 in a row in Munster this year and 7 in 10 years. Cork Curlers back at Semple Stadium for the first time since the qualifier loss to Wexford last year. Ball played into the middle here, once again collected by Dara Fitzgibbon, helped out by Luke Meade. Into space it comes, racing onto it is Seamus Harnedy, the man from Gortroo St. Ita's club. Plays it back to Lehan, and Lehan looks at it like a good golfer, and it goes wide.
Yeah, that was a great chance. The amount of room that the Cork forwards had there, Seamus Harnedy really could have turned and put it over the bar himself, and he did the unselfish thing, and a bad wide by Conor Lehan.
Another Seamus Kennedy getting onto this one, helped out by James Barry. Up to right half forward, over there towards Dan McCormack, pursued there vigorously by Mark Coleman. Again, it's McCormack who gets it inside towards Bubbles, doesn't manage to hold on to it. Bill Cooper back, protecting the D in front of that full back line. Hammered forward once again here, down into the left corner, down towards Alan Cadogan's corner once again. Once more, Cathal Barrett goes across. And the linesman this time giving the decision Cathal Barrett and Tipperary's way. Early stages of this second half. Tip yet to launch their first meaningful attack of the second half. It'll be Barrett who will hit it. Player who was absolutely outstanding last year. What an all-star. Didn't make the greatest of connection there. Gleefully picked up here by Cadogan. Slipping it back. I'm not quite sure what he saw there, because he's given it to Sean Curran of Tipperary, who bypasses the referee, and the referee just gets in the way eventually. As Brendan Marr was coming out.
He'd given a free there. He gave the advantage there to Sean Curran, and then he just stepped into Brendan Marr, so he called it back for the free.
Well, this was how that came about, and the referee left with no option really other than to award the free to Tip. And this one is going to be taken by centre half back Ronan Marr, winner of Fitzgibbon Cups with Mary I in the last 2 years. It's a huge one. It's dropping away to the right hand side, and it's gone wide. Well, he's a teammate on that college side with Luke Meade. A lot of old pals, especially UCC pals, playing against one another here this afternoon. Anthony Nash pucks it out. It flies down there towards left half forward, down towards Shane Kingston. Right onto the sideline he goes, works it forward. Collected once again by Conor Lehan, slipping it cleverly forward. Down there towards Bill Cooper. Helping out here is Shane Kingston. And Kingston lets it in, but in towards the side netting, and that one has gone wide as well. That's 2 wides in a row now, started the second half, and some 8 wides in all. Both sets of fans raising the decibel level as Kieran Kingston, in his second year in charge of Cork, looks on. From the puck out, down through the centre it goes, down towards John O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer beaten for it by Damien Cahalane, but helping out here is Dan McCormack near the sideline. McCormack looks at it somewhat admiringly. Well, he might, because he's knocked it over the bar and he's got a second point. And people were saying, well, this is a man who supplies good chances for others, not really a taker of scores. Well, today he's taking his opportunities, and Tip have drawn level, 16 points apiece.
Yeah, very important score. Dan McCormick turned into a real leader of this Tipperary team, and that was an important score. They haven't started the second half well at all, and Cork well on top since half-time. Again, Cork go forward here. This time it's Patrick Horgan, challenged by two Tipperary out over the sideline as well. And linesman Mick Murta there waving his flag in Tipperary's favour. So once again, it's going to be a Tipperary line ball. This time John O'Keefe from Clonulty Ross Moore will take it, taking his time over it, giving it maximum care. Was very much in favour back in 2011, then out of the picture for some years. Back in this afternoon, however, in as far as Sean Curran, runs on here as far as Ronan Marr, dropping it through the centre here, but there's a Cork man trying to get to it first. When he can't win it, he's helped and backed up by captain Stephen MacDonald. Missed the match last year because of a broken hand. On as far as Seamus Harnedy, back around right half forward at this stage, having started the match at full forward, as nobody in there is from Alan Cadigan, and three Tipperary backs. One of them is James Barry, has a support player, it's Paddy Marr, his captain. Towards the other number 7, who's reading it well, and across comes Mark Coleman, steps into the breach, solos forward, looks up, has to try and get rid of it now and look for a support player. What a good ball that is, all the way as far as Horgan, and Patrick Horgan snaps it over the bar. It was a brilliant pass, and it's a wonderful score by Horgan, who's got 3, and Cork have got 17 and lead Tip by 1. Yeah, that all came about Patrick Marr being put under pressure back here. He cleared the ball away, didn't look, and Mark Coleman picked it up and had the composure to turn back, take the extra touch, and switch a brilliant ball over to Pat Horgan. That's his 3rd point from play.
Doing the business in front of an attendance of 30,103 people. From the puck out, Colm Spillane reading it, going for it, attacking it, knocking it down to Mark Coleman again of Cork. Challenged by Dan McCormick, then challenged by John McGrath. Back in as far as Mark Ellis. Ellis looks up, drives it away off his left-hand side, down towards Seamus Harnedy once again. Where he goes, James Barry goes across to try and marshal him. But he's nothing in it to stop him this time. The hand pass back towards Kingston! Shane Kingston stepping away, well blocked initially, and then he dribbles in and it's a goal! Shane Kingston, his first ever championship goal. A goal and 2 for him, a goal and 7 for Cork. They lead by 4.
Yeah, Jaron, that was coming. At the end of the day, the low ball catches Darren Gleeson, the softish goal. But since half-time, Cork's work rate has far outdone Tipperary. Tip behind for Cork attacking the ball. You can see the spring of their step there since half-time, and that goal, they're well worthy that 4-point lead.
Well, it's a boost for Cork. It's a wake-up signal once again for Tipperary, the Munster champions, the All-Ireland champions. Hot favourites to win this, but in the 44th minute, they need something special. Maybe John McGrath will deliver it for them. Denied, however. Back it comes again. There was a jersey pull. John O'Dwyer bubbles. And eventually the referee does blow for that second foul, and it's got to be a free in for Tipperary. Dangerous there for Cork, and Tip really worth threatening.
Yeah, you see, Bums, he's been very sharp. He was fouled there, the ref gave the advantage, and then he called it back. Good refereeing.
Well, it's a chance to make it a 3-point difference once again now. The free taker is going to be Seamus Calnan. 3 points in the first half. 2 of those were from frees. 5 on the goal line, 20 metres out, loads of time remaining. No need to panic from a Tip point of view. He's got a 4th. So 117 to 7 points. Shane Kingston, the goal scorer. May not be the greatest goal he's ever scored, but he caught it well enough, and it trickled in past Darren Gleeson, who was powerless to stop it on the goal line.
Yeah, he'd be disappointed. I think he didn't get his hurl to it, you know. He probably should have kept it out.
So Shane Kingston recently got a goal against Limerick in a challenge match in Old Christian's ground. It was a wonderful goal that evening. That one wasn't bad, I'm sure he'll be saying, and that's a very good catch by John O'Dwyer. Bubbles slaying it inside here to Sean Curran. Curran striking, but trying to do so, well blocked out. It was the cornerback Stephen MacDonald who intervened that time. Cooper back out as far as Dara Fitzgibbon. Fitzgibbon has a player loose on this left-hand side if he wants to use him. Goes forward himself. This is old-style direct hurling, but not with the direction and aim that he was looking for that time, Darren Fitzgibbon, and he gives it away to Cathal Barrett, works it into the middle of the field to Michael Breen, lays it off as far as Noel McGrath. McGrath 65 metres out, looks at it, hits it brilliantly and puts it over the bar. A third for Noel McGrath. Tip are coming back.
That's a brilliant score by Noel McGrath, but Bubbles O'Dwyer, he's been playing brilliantly, but one little thing, maybe he's been too unselfish. I thought there, you know, with his finishing ability, he's going through there, but he gave the pass to Sean Curran, who was brilliantly hooked there in the end. I think it was Colin Spillane. Great defending, but maybe could have went on there. That's a couple of times he's passed it, maybe when the better option was to go for. Here's Lehan on the ball again.
And he is certainly laying down a marker in this match. Lehan hits it, but hits it wide. Scorer of 5 points so far. Most of them have been from frees, one from play. Working really, really hard, just out of luck with his finishing that time. And so it's still a 2-point game. Cork leading. From the puck out, Spillane comes across. That's Colin Spillane. Hand passes it forward to Christopher Joyce. Joyce knocks it down along the side once again, down there towards Alan Cadigan. And whatever ball goes in towards Cadigan, he's able to win it, in particular if it's low, but this time the ball is played back out again. Dan McCormack going to pick it up. Driving it away inside. Looking once again here for O'Dwyer. Stopped by Stephen MacDonald. Linking up with goalkeeper Anthony Nash. Change of direction from Nash, keeping it away from Caledon. Back out it comes once again, out as far as Mark Coleman. Coleman into Shane Kingston, into Harnedy in fact. Harnedy was moved across to left half, and Harnedy lets this one run short. And Darren Gleeson's able to pick it up and send it right down through the centre once more. John O'Dwyer may have been his target, but he doesn't get to him. It gets to Mark Ellis instead. In as far as Conor Lehan. Lehan darting this way and that, trying to go by. A couple of players after him. Still manages to get enough space and fires it over the bar. It's a 6 for Lehan. He's turned on the style here in Semple Stadium, and there's a goal between the teams again.
Yeah, that was great anticipation there. He knew he was going to be hooked. He let it land. And I mentioned the confidence earlier on of John McGrath, but Lehan had a couple of bad rides. And this is a feature of Cork today. Their overhead catching is unbelievable. Mark Ellis there again, and he's looking up. Mark Coleman is supplying great ball over the half-back line as well. And that's where the launch pad of this brilliant performance is coming from so far.
A couple of interesting switches in the half-back line as well. Paddy Maher has now gone centre-half back to pick up Lehan as that ball is struck from way out of the wings, and over the bar it's gone. Really good score from Michael Breen, who's got a 4th.
Yeah, he's the one tip player that looks to have loads of energy, and he's flying around. That's a brilliant score from right out in the 65-metre line. And here's Luke Mead with a catch. You can't take right off this stint for a second.
Great puck out to Mead, to Kingston, the goal scorer. And another score for Kingston. He's got a point. He's got a goal and 3. Well, it's a player that Cork have seen in action a little bit before this, but he had a broken leg, recovering from that, and his father wasn't going to rush him too much. He's only, what is he, 19 years of age, loads of potential. 119 to 19 points. This puck out towards John McGrath, collected instead by Christopher Joyce. Cork may have flopped big time last year against Tip and against Wexford, but they're turning it on in the opening round of the Munster Championship against the Munster and All-Ireland champions, and Sean Curran responding, but putting this one to the right and putting it wide. It's a 7th wide for Tipperary. Curran with just 1 point so far today, playing in just his 4th championship match. A goal between them. 49 minutes are gone. Loads of time still to go. Nash pucks it out. Lehan's the target. Runs away from him. Brendan Marr coming across to help out and to clear. 2 Cork players are there waiting for it. Touch back down once again it comes. Taken infield here by Mark Ellis. Gets back onto his feet again. Keeps motoring, keeps going. That seems to be the drive and determination that's flowing right through this Cork team. In the end, it's Paddy Maher who's collected it on his own half-back line, up to a 2-man inside forward line, and it's Calnan, slips. Damien Cahalan goes back, wins it. People were saying Cahalan wouldn't be able to cope with Caledon this afternoon, but that's not been the case. Mark Coleman driving it back down towards Kingston. Runs on, picked up by James Barry. Back out here to the wings. Scampering after it is Ronan Marr. Now venturing forward and driving it into the inside forwards once again, this time towards Caledon. Cowden coming out for it, looking to try and hold on to it this time. Aided and abetted by John McGrath, slipping it back here as far as Michael Breen, and Breen slips it between the uprights and over the bar. He's got 5. It's a terrific performance by the 22-year-old UCC student from Ballina in County Tipperary.
Yeah, you'll wonder now with 20 to go, you know, the physical power of Tipperary, they're on the road that bit longer, more mature. Will it tell? Cork full of running so far, but a couple of lads down now with injuries, looks like cramp and maybe a knee injury there as well. But
and a change, Michael, because Niall O'Mara is going to come on. We were having this chat between ourselves beforehand that Tipperary's bench is not very experienced, but O'Mara is one of the experienced players, and Patrick you're wondering about his fitness, of course, as well.
Yeah, he's supposed to have a hamstring as well. He was away during the winter as well with the Army. So here's Niall O'Mara coming. Sean Kern going out there.
Well, I think that's probably our answer, because when you think about it, the obvious number 11 to come on, had he been fit, would be Patrick Bonner-Marr. So it's O'Mara who comes on first. First replacement for either of these two teams. And let's see, will he make a difference? Straight away, this is the man who he will be going in, presumably, to pick up Mark Ellis. All the way down towards Seamus Hannity. Slips it across once again towards Kingston. Running on, however, to Patrick Horgan instead. And Horgan, again, slips it beyond his marker and over the bar. A 4th for Patrick Horgan. In very definitely at full forward this stage. Taking on John O'Keefe, beating him for possession. Winning the race and putting it over. 120 to 20 points. Cork, by comparison with Tipperary, have a much more experienced bench this afternoon. They started with youth. They've taken a gamble, and so far that gamble is paying off. Mark Coleman down towards Alan Cadigan once again, trying to slip it back, but back there to help out is Seamus Hannity. Mark Coleman then stepping away from trouble, back to Hannity once again. A lot of work to do to get it down into the forward. There are too many Tipperary backs on their own half-back line, and one of them is Niall O'Mara. O'Mara seems to be playing as an extra midfield player. They've isolated Calnan up there against Damien Cahalan. Calnan, can he do the business? Can he make the difference? Can he win this match eventually? Calnan has got a 5th.
Yeah, that's a great score there. Niall O'Mara just on the field, and you know, that one-on-one is in there. Damien Cahalan's been very, very tight since the start of the game, which they're creating that one-on-one inside, and you know, if he gets one chance of a goal, he'll take it.
Still a 2-point game as that ball is hit from a huge distance out, and it is taken by the goalkeeper. I think it was Lehan who hit it in, and it is Darren Gleeson who gets that ball out. Every save like that from the goalkeeper could be so vital. Didn't let it off over the bar with his stick, wasn't taking a chance. This could be a 1-point game at the end of 70 minutes, you never know. Dan McCormick fouled, but this was Gleeson going up there. Other goalkeepers might have not taken a chance. He scored.
Yeah, super catch, and you saw that man Dan McCormick again. There was 3 Cork men around him, and he made a very important catch, and that's one area where, you know, the old failing of Tipperary resurfaced here today, and the half-forward line being beaten, but for an awful lot of the high balls, clean catching by the Cork half-back line all day.
A free to Tipperary. It's a very, very long distance out. Breeze behind Seamus Callanan, however, and this to make it what would be 120 to 22 points. 23 to 22. And he's done it.
A brilliant strike, Jerry. You know, he's only had a couple of frees. I think that's 4 frees each. Huge amount from play. 18 points from tip from play so far. Cork with 116 from play, which is phenomenal shooting, and we've seen some fantastic scores here at Thurles.
And they're not finished yet by any manner of means. Anthony Nash ready to puck it out. Tipperary with more backs than Cork have forwards, so this is collected here by Cathal Barrett. Tipperary looking for the next score, trying to level up the match. Cork digging deep. Colm Spillane hand passing it outside to the roaming Alan Cadigan. Far from being just a right corner forward, he'll play everywhere and anywhere, using up a lot of energy with all that action he's been doing. Into Seamus Hannity once again. Hannity looking for the obvious pass to give, swings it over his shoulder. Across here it comes once again. Horgan the first time blocked down by Paddy Marr, goes again, looking for Luke Meade. Meade has a support player also available, and that is Lehan, and Lehan puts it over the bar. 7 for Lehan. The 24-year-old from Middleton, blessed with a spontaneous touch, quick feet, great hands, and really a wonderful scorer's instinct.
Yeah, Jared, credit Luke Meade there as well. You know, you see here, Pádraig Maher gave a little tug of the jersey there, but Luke Meade had the composure just to flick it out to the unmarked Conor Lehan. He stuck it over the bar. Here's Callan again.
He certainly is. Oh, it's a great ball to McGrath. What a goal! Tip lead, 122 to 121. Callan as far as John McGrath. 56 minutes are gone.
Yeah, Colin Spillane has been all over John McGrath today, but the one chance he got, again like the half, Seamus Callan's vision, but look at the finish. John McGrath lives for those chances and he sticks it in the roof of the net.
It's only his second score in the match. Cork rocked, back they come. Lehan again. It's a sensational performance by Lehan, who's been heavily criticised by lots of people over the last couple of years, unfairly so. But when he's confident, when he's feeling good about himself, he can perform. And Cork level it up to 122 to 122. The teams are level for an amazing 14 times. Now who's going to win it? 14 minutes to go. Mark Coleman, Bill Cooper. Down here as far as Alan Cadigan. Cadigan having to go way back inside his own 65-metre line just to get enough space, just to locate a colleague. Picks out Mark Ellis, drills it forward towards Shane Kingston. Kingston hitting it over his right shoulder and hitting it over the bar as well with unerring accuracy and wonderful confidence. He's got a goal in 4. What a response to the tip goal.
Yeah, Ger, that's incredible. And Shane Kingston, you mentioned his bad injury earlier on, but he scored 1-4 here today. But the rotation of that Cork forward line causing all sorts of trouble for Tipperary. You see Pádraig Maher gone to centre back now. Ronan Maher has been switched to the wing, and that back line was shown up against Galway. They're under serious pressure here again today. And you know, Patrick Horgan has scored 4 from play, Conor Lehan 4 from play, Shane Kingston 1-4, Luke Meade 3, Alan Cadigan 3, and Seamus Hardy a point. Well, fantastic return from the Cork forwards.
Luke Farrell comes in, and you can see on the Tipperary side there bringing in Joe O'Dwyer as a corner back, and who is a cousin of John O'Dwyer. So he comes on for Seamus Kennedy. So a stage of the match where the managers are thinking in terms of survival and winning and making those vital late changes. Cadigan played really well for Cork, but clearly was tiring. Now it's up to Luke O'Farrell to show the same energy and invention. The battle-hardened Dara Fitzgibbon in the middle of the field there has done really well to win that ball, prodded forward. Back to win it, however, for Tipperary is Joe O'Dwyer on his championship debut. Hits it rather waywardly. Nash is able to gather 20 metres out from his own goal. Hits at a phenomenal distance. Look at that, all the way down towards the 13-metre line. Picked up here by Pádraig Maher. Gets away from 2 Cork forwards. Drives it back again. The match is there for the winning at this stage. But who's going to be the winning team today? Mark Coleman. The referee halting the play here because there's an injury to Seamus Callanan, and quite correctly the referee decides that it's important that Callanan receive immediate attention. 1:23 for Cork, 1:22 for Tipperary, 59 minutes gone. Coming here today, did you really think it would be
all eyes on the ball there?
It was.
Well, you know,
here today, did you really think with 11 minutes to go, was only one between them?
I really didn't know. I fancy Tipperary on the base of their form last year and their experience, but that Cork forward line on paper are phenomenally talented. Tipperary is still, they're only a point behind. The Cork backline creaking a bit at the hinges as well, but great performance by both forward lines today. But the one thing there just about, you see Seamus Callanan is trying to come out to get under those high balls, because the half forward line, there's an uncertainty there. Every high ball that drops down, Mark Coleman and Mark Ellis have caught a ton of balls between the two of them there in that Cork half back line.
47 scores shared by the two teams so far in this amazing game of Munster hurling, which people are thoroughly enjoying. Horgan throwing it back here. Back to Lehan, outnumbered, outmuscled. Eventually it's Noel McGrath struggling to get it away from Lehan. Slips it there as far as Brendan Maher, last year's captain. Way up to Calden, 2 against him. One of them able to win that ball back. and try to set up the next attack. It's Christopher Joyce. Inside here as far as Luke O'Farrell. First touch for O'Farrell. Oh, well blocked down by Noel McGrath, and sets up his brother John, the goal scorer for Tipperary, for the next Tipperary attack. But in steps Stephen MacDonald. Then it's Niall O'Mara rolls it up. Back as far as Noel McGrath. Back in once again it comes towards Dan McCormack. McCormack trying to look for the next obvious pass to give. Gives it there as far as Niall O'Mara, and O'Mara hits it over the bar. Great work for the substitute. An important moment for him to level up the game at 123 to 123.
That's a great strike, great work right there by Noel McGrath. Great block down, he got the little touch in. They really had to work very, very hard. Very important score.
10 minutes to go. Nash puck out, collected by Tipperary. Off they go again, looking for the next score. Will they get it? No, it comes off the upright. Back down again. That was Joe O'Dwyer. Mark Ellis collecting, taking it down again. It's anybody's match. Towards Luke O'Farrell. Won there, however, by Cathal Barrett, who injures himself in the process, and he's struggling with a knee injury as he's gone down, and he's still down. Play continues at the other end. It's Damien Cahalan. Needs his goalkeeper. Attention given straight away to Cathal Barrett. Play continues. Tipperary have only 14 players at the moment fit and out on the field. They're attacking again. Niall O'Mara trying to round a couple of Cork backs. It's still O'Mara doing an awful lot himself. Runs on towards Seamus Calden. Comes out. Tries to lay it back to somebody. Hit away in the end by Shane Kingston. And eventually the play is halted with Luke O'Farrell having the ball in his hands. But I think that Cathal Barrett is probably going to have to be replaced. I think he did his knee that time as he was coming out and is in obvious distress. Just watch it again here. Oh, it looks awful.
Yeah, he stuck his foot in there. That looks terrible. And in the first half, we saw a fierce battle with Alan Cadigan, who scored 3 points. But since half-time, Cathal Barrett has given exhibition of corner-back play, attacking that ball. And that looks bad.
He was in such good form today, because in the last couple of matches, well, really he was looking a little rusty, and that's understandable because of the long layout. But now concerned for Michael Ryan and for John Madden alongside him there, and that is Conor Stakelum and Declan Fanning, of course, the management team there. So it gives somebody else an opportunity to come in, and the other player will be Alan Flynn, who'll come in, who's a cornerback. His twin brother Paul is also among the subs this afternoon. But that is not something you like to see. A player has played so well with such distinction and made such an impact on the game, having to go off with an injury. We can only hope that he's able to make a very rapid recovery.
Here's John McGrath. Look at Seamus Callan's vision there, and just the weight of that pass straight into John McGrath's hand. Had that look up and just lobbed it over the Cork defenders. And John McGrath just missed those chances. Super goal.
That was a beauty. Really was.
It's good to see the stretcher was there, but Cathal Barrett's got up and walked off the pitch. Well, with help, he's been helped off, but he's on his feet.
Well, he played brilliantly, and let's hope we see him again back on the park very, very quickly. And I hope that is not a serious injury. Connolly Hannah's got to take the free. Can't score from it because the referee had blown up the play there, but they can from here. Seamus Harnedy advancing, looking to hit this one, but hits it low. Gleeson's able to take, and we know how hard he can belt them, and with the wind behind him, he's letting it off down towards Seamus Calden once again, up against Damien Cahalan. First touch isn't a great one by Calden, but he's able to win it. Has to go back, way back here as far as the midfielder, and that one is hit, and it's hit over the bar. Brilliantly done. Last year's captain Brendan Marr gets his second point and puts Tipperary in front by 124 to 123 at a critical stage in the match with just over 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, and Seamus Callan had a lot of work to do there. He did very well to get it out to Brendan Marr, and a great strike. We've seen it all day, lads score from distance. Here's Lehan.
One shot by Lehan. That is a brilliant shot. Oh yes, 9 points by Conor Lehan in this game. A real tour de force by the Middleton player, taking on everybody and anybody Well, so many star performers in this match.
And Ronan Marr was centre-back. Tariq was moved in there maybe 10 minutes ago, and he scored the last couple of points off him. He's just given an absolute master class today, and he had a few wides earlier on. He could have 8 or 9 points from play at this stage.
I was looking at a list in one of the journals during the week of the 10 most important, influential players in the country, and Lehan's name wasn't there, and I honestly felt it should have been. That was down to his own inconsistency, but today he's turned it on. Darragh Fitzgibbon has had a wonderful match as well. All the way in here, inside towards Harnedy, who's going to run across and chase after it. It goes off the Tipperary player, and it's gone for his 65. Well, Cork were denied a 65 in the first half when the referee went and had a chat with his umpires. This time, there is no doubt about it. Harnedy's down injured. And another change being made, and this time it's Mikey Cahalane who's coming on. Now, this is a big, tall man who plays for Bandon, and he's replacing Luke Meade, one of those stars this afternoon. Mikey Cahalane had an issue with a heart problem about 2 or 3 years ago, and only came back last year to play with his club. He's come back into the fold. He was originally brought into the team by JBM, Jimmy Barry Murphy, some years ago. Has a big future. Mikey Cahalane, number 24.
Yeah, and a quick mention for Luke Meade, Jerry's first championship match today. Brilliant contribution, 3 points from play.
As we watch Conor Lehan hit the 65 and hit it over the bar. 10 points for Lehan. Cork lead by 125 to 124, as Cathal Barrett receives attention on the sideline here, and they put some ice on that knee immediately. Well, now, does any team deserve to lose this match? Well, this is the turnovers: 40 for Tipperary, 36 for Cork. Cork edging it on the scoreboard. Christopher Joyce's pass intended for Horgan there, intercepted, but Horgan will win it back inside his own 65-metre line. Pursued by Noel McGrath. McGrath gets the stick in. So too did Michael Breen and Brendan Marr. And in the end, it's going to be a line ball, which will be to Cork.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. He originally gave it to Tipperary, but changed his mind.
So the line ball to Cork, and they're in no particular hurry to come across and take it. Just to remind you that next week the Sunday game features football and hurling. Derry against Tyrone in Ulster, Galway and Dublin in the Leinster Hurling Championship. Mark Coleman hitting it with his hurley on a left-sided strike, makes a wonderful connection down into the 20-metre line, runs on. Oh, Harnedy was going after it, was brushing aside John O'Keefe, but James Barry got there. Steady and assured. Powerfully away by Ronan Marr. In there towards Bubbles. Got to stick to it, but so too did his marker. Mark Coleman gets it back. Held on to here. Luke O'Farrell. Touched out by John O'Keefe. Won back by Paddy Marr. Over the head there of Seamus Callan that time. It here by Mark Coleman. Cork holding on to their 1-point advantage, 125 to 124. They go again. That time it's Darragh Fitzgibbon inside. Here's a chance! What a goal by the substitute, Mikey Cahalane! The man who came back, the man about whom there were serious concerns that he might never play sport again, has put Cork 4 points in front with about 2 minutes to go, 225 to 124.
Well, he took the chance, Jerry, crept in behind and got the ball, and first touch in championship hurling, just sticks it in the net. Brilliant finish, but Thomas James Barry only went out waving at the ball, missed it completely, and that could be should be the decisive score now at this stage.
What have Tip got to come back with, and they've got a point through Dan McCormack, his third. Still in touch, only a 3-point difference. Well, Cork fans were a bit worried about drawing up memories of 1990, when Tip had been All-Ireland champions in 89, and Cork came here and beat them. You might remember Mark Foley getting 2-7. Well, there were all kinds of talks about that, and of course also in 1992, something similar happening. But there was also a lot of Cork people who were fearing the worst against the Munster and All-Ireland champions. But today we've had a day of some wonderful hurling. Players of immense ability out there. Real thoroughbreds, and not a donkey in sight in this particular derby between the two great teams in Munster. In comes Lorcan McLaughlin, number 19. Off goes Dara Fitzgibbon after a wonderful debut match. Back into the heart of that Tipperary defence once again it goes. Once again pressuring applied there on Ronan Marr. Coming in to try and take it up there was Lorcan McLaughlin. Couldn't quite get to it. It's Marr instead. It's a free to Tipperary. And Tipperary now, as we head into 4 minutes of added time, need a goal themselves. Otherwise their chance of winning the Munster title will be gone. They'll be still very much in the hunt for the All-Ireland. All the way up it goes, batted back out, comes here as far as Michael Breen, and Breen puts it over the bar. He was hoping to keep it a little bit lower, I'm sure, but he's got 6. It's a wonderful performance by Michael Breen, and it means it's a 2-point game again.
Yeah, I think Michael Breen's performance kind of sums up this game, Joe. Mark Ellis, the centre-back, had an outstanding game. Michael Breen has scored 6 points. He has to spend all his time at 6, but it's that type of game that positions don't mean an awful lot.
Ronan Marr, great catch. Hand passing into the centre. Shane Kingston goes in to try and win it. Everybody putting their bodies on the line. Coming in here is Luke O'Farrell. O'Farrell slipping and sliding. Gets it back as far as Kingston, who got Cork's first goal. Now has he got the latest point? No, he hasn't. He's put it wide. It's a 10th wide. But it's 2:25 to 1:26. It's Cork by 2. Kieran Kingston hoping to have victory here, something he would have dreamed about. Cork come again. Mark Ellis slipping it forward here, still going forward, the Mill Street man, then having the presence of mind to pick out Lee Hahn inside his own 65. He thought it was gone over. He was punching the air with delight. He thought he'd nailed it. 2 minutes still to go. Waterford wait the winners. That'll be the Munster semi-final. This wonderful Munster championship. Delivering this afternoon, and delivering in spades. Again, Cork, who came here with the right attitude, went with youth. Joyce, back down there, looking to raid is Mikey Cahalane again. Cahalane out over the sideline, ball as well over there. Line ball is going to be to Tipperary. O'Keefe, John O'Keefe that is, ready to take it. But look at the time. Only another minute and a quarter to go. Mark Coleman heard the call. The call came from Mark Ellis. Ellis under pressure. Tries to get this ball away. Cork will beat Tipperary in the league, but that was the league they all said. But this is the championship. As Luke O'Farrell nails it. Brilliantly delivered. Fans celebrating up on the hill. O'Farrell's point makes it 2:26 to 1:26. Tip know they need a goal in 45 seconds just to level the match. It's 2006 since Cork last came to Thurles to beat Tip in the championship. They beat them in 2010, but that was down in Porky Queen. This is in the home of hurling, and that is Harnedy, and that's another one.
Yeah, Jaron, that's a brilliant score. Cork are full of running. We said it earlier in the game, and Tip haven't lost anything in defeat here, but what a performance by Cork. Have we spoken too soon?
Nobody was talking about Cork as possible champions. Bill Cooper knocks it way down, defiantly back. Barry goes back after it. The 4 minutes have now been played. We wait for James Owen's whistle. Cork, absolute underdogs in the minds of everybody, writing and talking about this in the build-up to the game, but they've delivered a wonderful performance. Patrick Horgan hits this one in, the keeper saves it, the whistle is gone, and Cork have come to Thurles, and they have beaten the Munster champions of the last 2 years and the reigning All-Ireland champions, Tipperary, and they've done it in spectacular style, and they've won by 4 points. An absolutely amazing performance. Kieran Kingston took a gamble with his management team to invest in youth. there were 5 players who really had very, very little championship experience. In the case of 3 of them, it was a completely new experience. But this was the day they came. This was the day they did the business, and that's the final scoreline. It's Tipperary 126, but it's Cork 2 goals and 27 points. 56 scores, the team's level on 16 occasions, Michael.
Ger, what a game. And you know, I suppose I'm a bit of a traditionalist, a romantic, and I love these big days. I love Tip and Cork. I love, you know, the Kilkenny, the tradition. And you know, in Thurles today, and I was in Middleton last Wednesday night doing a championship preview, and the Cork ex-players, Kevin Hennessy was there, Tomas Mulcahy, and the crowd, you could sense it. All they wanted was to come here to Thurles, which they love coming to. They wanted pride, they wanted passion, they wanted heart, and they got all that. But what they got above all that was an absolutely classic forward display. That's what Cork always had. They scored 227, 222 from play, and Tipperary, in fairness, 122 from play out of 126. They didn't lose anything. They just met. The one little thing that you can never talk about, or the difference, is hunger. And the hunger today was with Cork from the very start. They had that little bit more drive, that bit more determination than Tip on the day. So a phenomenal game. They're worthy winners. And you look, Tipperary now will obviously be dangerous in the back door, but Cork going through the front door. And John Fenton mentioned beforehand, they had never lost 3 games in the first round in a row in the history of the GAA, and they didn't do it today either.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Let's go down to my colleague Claire McNamara.
Conor Lehane, congratulations. A great game, and against all of the odds, you've beaten the All-Ireland champions.
Yeah, I'm not sure the register, to be honest, at the moment, but Joe, we've been kind of training so long all year, and Joe comes so quick, and then when it comes to today, but like, we've kind of trained so hard and stuff, and kind of got a lot of criticism, like, so like, I know it's kind of hard to explain how good it is now, but like, it's like the final whistle feeling there, and everyone come on, like, there's no better feeling than that, like.
And so many young players today, but they all stood up.
Yeah, exactly, like, that's the whole point. We trust them, like, we weren't going to put them out there unless we thought they were able, like, and their attitude is phenomenal, like, and the way they performed tonight, like, every last one of the people that came on and everything was just like, it's so satisfying, like, you can't kind of put it into words.
Where did that performance come from? You know, did you feel this during the week brewing up?
And this has gone on a long time now. We've been kind of waiting for this for months, like, you know, and it kind of goes and comes so quick. When the final is over, then, like, it's kind of just trying to enjoy it. Like, we're not deluded, no, like, we know it's the quarter final and things like that, but just to kind of do it against the odds is the most kind of satisfying thing at the moment, like, you know.
Such an open game, some great scores, and you showed great character to come through those final tight, close minutes.
Yeah, I know the final minutes are to the worst and longest 2 minutes of my life, but I just to finally keep it going, like, you know, the back played so well in the second half, like, cleaning up ball, loose ball, and, like, you know, how dangerous the sit forwards are, and to kind of get on top is just like, it's the best feeling. We haven't had a feeling like this in a long time, like, so it's really good.
Well, congratulations, Conor, enjoy.
Thanks a million, cheers.
Yeah, Conor Lehane, one of the heroes for Cork today, but I suppose the first thing that we have to do is to compliment both teams, Ger Loughnane, on a brilliant Munster Hurling Championship match. We couldn't have asked for a better opening to the hurling season.
Well, we kind of sensed something at the start, and we said that it should be Henry's 3rd time lucky, and it was a game in keeping with all of the lore that surrounds the Munster Championship. You know, all those who played today are worthy successors of all the greats of the past, coming from Bring and the Dials from Tipperary. We heard about these games, you know, and Henry would have only heard about those in the past. Some of us would have seen many of those. Young people watching on would have wondered maybe in the last 10 years, what was it all about? This is what it's all about. When Tip and Cork meet in the Munster Championship, sometimes they serve up something that's beyond words, and today was just one of those days. You look at the scoring that was today, the ferocious exchanges all over the field, the individuals they display, the teamwork that was in it. Every great quality you associate with hurling was there today. Munster Championship back to its absolute best. And if they're going to change the system, hopefully it won't stop us from having games like we had today. It was just epic from start to finish.
Another thing, Henry, that I always love to see in situations like this is when the final whistle blows, to see the players staying out there on the pitch, accepting the congratulations or the commiserations of their own fans.
Yeah, and I think both sets of supporters and players on the field have great respect for each other because of the tradition, because they've grown up, and that's what I took a note of. You know, I remember growing up looking at the Clare Limerick games. You were involved with Ger, you know, the Waterford and Cork matches in the 2000s. And this is a game we'll talk about for years to come. Look at the score, 227 to 126. As you said, the players outside, Conor Lehan said in his interview, the match just flew by. We were up here, it was just unbelievable. It was half time, we could barely talk about a little bit of stuff, and next thing the game is over. It just ebbed and flowed from one side of the field to the other, and it was just magnificent. And both sets of players have to, like there were, with 70 minutes you could see there was lads cramping all over the place, and it was because the effort they put in. How Tip hung in there, I don't know, because Cork played out of their skins and they still only won by 4 points.
OK, we are going to take a break. We'll get Cyril's views on this in just a moment because we will have more reaction and analysis here at Semple Stadium after the break.
Live well with Centra, proud sponsor of the All-Ireland Senior Hurling Championship.
In life, you run into the odd shower, but don't let that put you off your stride. Fortunately, people all over Ireland have discovered how easy it is to simply touch and pay for purchases of up to €30 with Visa contactless. Visa, everywhere you want to be.
Welcome to a place like no other, where tears are from laughter and you're absolutely streaming, where entertainment has no equal and any night can go viral, like virtual reality night with Mammy. You have the power to fill your home with fun. We have the broadband and TV so you can. There's no place like a Vodafone home.
I was working in Helsinki before life took me here. I design and select pieces that function, are comfortable, and to meet the challenging needs of the everyday life we live in. The Lucci dining table and the Calvino chairs have been designed here in-house at Harvey Norman. Buying is about balance. It's building collections with the perfect mix of stable classics and emerging trends. I'm Mattia Como, dining and cabinetry buyer at Harvey Norman, Ireland.
A trip to the hardware store could take 2 hours out of your working day. At screwfix.ie, you'll find thousands of products at low trade prices and we'll deliver them directly to you. What you do with the extra 2 hours is your business. Screwfix.ie. From our site to yours.
The intuitive new Golf with 0% PCP finance. Make the future your present. Visit your local Volkswagen retailer to find out more.
Germany. Land of perpetual precision and exceptional perfection. Where order is practically a national sport and where discipline becomes priority. You call it Germany. We call it life. Enhanced by German technology. From safety systems down to the sole contact that counts. Continental Tires.
Help for the healers. Help for the leaders. For the dreamers and schemers. For innovators. Help for the truth seekers. The change makers. The ideas creators. And let's not forget those tasty little cupcake bakers. From the swearing of vows to the sharing of platters. Because helping each other is help for what matters.
The Vodafone broadband and TV sale is now on. Switch now. Only €25 a month for the first 6 months. Don't miss out.
Cork Cork have defeated the All-Ireland champions on a scoreline of 2 goals and 27 points to 1 goal and 26 points. And they will now meet Waterford in the Munster hurling semi-finals on June the 18th here at Semple Stadium. We are looking forward to that already. Let's hear from the Cork manager, Kieran Kingston. He's with Claire.
Your youth policy certainly paid off.
I mean, look, we're very happy with the win, obviously. I would say the youth policy, I said to you before the game, that we weren't picking on age, we were picking on form. And that form was dictated to us to a degree by the league campaign, challenge games and internal games and training that we've seen since. And I said that before the game, and that if we lost, and it's easy to say it now, I wouldn't be saying any different. We asked for a performance, we got a performance, and with the performance came the result.
You were so in the game today, all your young players stood up, you weren't dominated at any stage, such a big difference from last year.
Yeah, I mean, look, last year is gone, and we're not going to get carried away because we won one game today either. But like I said last year, all through the year, that this was a process. We had a programme in place. It's easy to say it now, but look, people or they chose not to, that's up to themselves. We're just trying to do the best we can, trying to develop from now on into the future. We stuck to that game plan, we stuck to it from the start. We learned a lot from last year, and I think we put it into play today.
Your forwards today, some great scores, including your son Shane got 1-4.
Yeah, I mean, it's a team game. They all contributed very well, but it's not about who puts the ball over the bar and we send it from or puts it into the net. It's about who creates it and where the work is and who sets up the score and where the work is done and where the graft is done. And that has to be the mantra, because the easiest part is scoring, the hard part is creating it.
Well, congratulations today, Kieran.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
Well done to Kieran Kingston. What a performance by his players today. This game, Cyril, was hanging in the balance right up to the last minute or two. We didn't know where this was going to go. And then Michael Cahalane gets the clinching goal. And I have to say, it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
He came back from a big medical problem, Michael, and he's been playing well all year. Very good. He chances on a break. Like this ball comes down. Again, you'd imagine Tipperary going to win this ball. But Cork won a lot of the ball. We trouble a lot of puck outs. Every puck out from the road very hard. Here he reads the break, chances it, and once he gets the chance, back at the net. He'll dream of this. Like, and he took a chance on the break came, but like you have to do these things. Look, on his own, the two backs go out to it. Here he is. Well, if they got a tap away, they'd be saying why isn't he getting out in front? He took the break well and took the goal very well. But the puck outs from Nash, Cork would have trouble out their own puck outs, and the crossfield ball, they got 2-12 the second half, and that'll win any match. And like it just shows you the Munster final is live and well, and it kind of opens up the championship. We needed a game like that and roll on the summer. And the other thing about it is, Ger, that from a Cork point of view, if they had lost this game, and if they'd lost it the way they did last year, everybody said, they're building lovely stadiums down in Cork, but they should build a team. They have a team. And not alone that would have cast a shadow over Cork, that have cast a shadow over the whole Munster Championship, maybe even the Championship, because people would be saying about, it's just only a matter of time till Tip get to the All-Ireland. Yeah. Now it has opened up everything. It has opened up the Munster Championship, the whole Championship has been opened up. It has made the back door an absolute trapdoor. It's a trapdoor, because Tip are going in the back door, Kilkenny and Wexford now is even a bigger game than ever, because whoever loses that could meet these in the first round. So everything is open up. But really, Kieran Kingston said before the game to Cork, make us proud. Yeah. Not alone did they make Cork proud, Tip made them. The whole game made us all proud of the game today. Going out of here, everybody's in a high. And both of those teams, both now, are still very much in the All-Ireland. Hornan was the winner today. It certainly was. Speaking of being out of we're out of here. It is indeed time for us to leave you on this opening day of the Sunday Game Live. And I hope, I've no doubt you did, enjoy the action. My thanks, of course, to Cyril Ger and to Henry. The first blow has been struck in the hurling championship, but there is, of course, a long road ahead. But we now know the road two counties will be taking. We'll see you the next time. Take care.
Live well with Centra, proud sponsor of the All-Ireland Senior Hurling Championship.
Welcome to all those seeking a bit more elbow room, a place with a spare room, a practice room, a man cave, a castle, a home. welcome you. Him, her, yes, even you, sir. We've got a Great Value award-winning mortgage and a dedicated team to help you along the way. Great Value mortgages from KBC, just for you, from the bank of you.
There's a way of life here that lasts way beyond any visit, where catching up means slowing down, where living on the edge puts you at ease, where you're always on course to try something new, and fun distractions get your undivided attention. Let go and embrace the wild Atlantic way of life.
Looks good. Let's make sure you're connected.
Great.
Right, let's have a wee look in here.
Okay. Hey, Mum.
Right, well, he seems happy enough.
Yeah, never seen him so quiet.
Great signal in here, too.
Hey, honey.
With Virgin Media's new Red House service, we deliver awesome Wi-Fi in every room. To find out more, search Virgin.